Andrew.
Yeah, I'll check boots.
He'll do that when shake hands or something first.
Well, the time has come for the Tier 1 Rugby League semi-final. Canberra are out on the park along with the Newcastle Rebels. I'm in the commentary box with the Country Rugby League's Chock Anderson. Good afternoon, Chock.
Good afternoon, Peter. I think the weather has fined up for a little while. A bit of blue sky, but the ground is fairly greasy, so if you can keep the ball on the ground and get it down in each other's 20, I think that's where the tries will come from.
Okay, let's go through the Newcastle Rebels side as they'll take to the field this afternoon. At fullback is Steve Gordon. On the wings is Callan Richardson and Marcel Ikanofo. Simon Williams and Josh Charles in 3 and 4. Willie Hedder, a late scratching. Ryan Walker will come in jersey 18. Brad Murray in 7. The back rowers of Gallen, Mannion, Roos, Finn, Adams and Simpson. Redmond, Tupou, Tafua, Shillings and Herman on the interchange bench. A new look squad for Canberra in 2016. So we're underway for the Tier 1 Rugby League semi-final. We're live out of Dubbo at Caltex Field. Great to have your company this afternoon for this big clash here on Country Rugby League. Referee coming through loud and clear in the background, so we'll be able to hear the decisions coming from the man with the whistle as well. Here's the kick going downfield. Gordon's got to go away and chase the football inside the 40. He's got to play at it, and he does exactly that now. And he's going to be crunched in the tackle there, Chock. 10 metres out from his own line.
Yeah, a very good chase by Canberra. Keep him down there.
So Callan Richardson comes in off the wing and takes the Rebels out to the 20-metre line here. Big crowd in here to watch this clash as it comes back there now to Gallen.
10, hold 8. Go.
Adams, away to Mannion. 2 metres out.
Hold and wait, headgear.
From halfway, back there now to Murray. They'll be looking to limit his ability with the football. At every opportunity, Brad Murray. So Canberra, a new look side. They're looking forward to the future. Full of sprite and enthusiasm up against the determined Newcastle outfit here today. Ulrich in 9. Playing hooker, instrumental with getting this Canberra side going forward. Back to Williams. He finds Solomon. He's from the Bush Rangers. So 42 metres out now, Canberra, from crossing the Newcastle line. Williams goes himself.
Oh, very
Still
bad
going. He only came into the squad yesterday after a late scratching from their original half-back. Here's the kick in towards the end goal area. Newcastle better go and save it. Tapped it in goal and grounded it. Goal line drop out here for Newcastle. What a little start there from Canberra.
Yeah, lucky to get away with that. The half-back slid through. Few missed tackles and on the end of a kick, they get the ball back for another 6.
An electrifying start on the side from the ACT. The rain has stopped. It's been raining off and on all morning here in Dubbo, but the ground in immaculate condition. That's Sam Conlon on his back, losing
Lost
the ball there. Just popped out there, shot right on the Newcastle 30-metre line.
That's right, there was fairly good defence there. But to win this game, you have to hold the ball for 6 tackles. And Johnny Crooks just jumped off at the Lions when they dropped that ball.
So Bar TV's coverage of the Tier 1 semi-final. Lakes United's Brad Murray putting the ball into the scrum. That's Lakes United's Josh Charles, wrestled into the ground here. 30 metres out from his own goal line. That's Adams. They're charging their way up towards the 40-metre line here. Back there now, it comes this time to Gallen. They're about to cross the halfway line here in Dubbo. Through Mannion. Straight into Trey Williams. The average age for Canberra is 20. Murray goes out wide, and Roos has just put it down cold. Scrum will pack down, 40 out from the Canberra goal line.
Yes, the pass was a bit ordinary. I think he tried to cut. It was a cut-out pass, and someone got in the way.
Locks, make sure you get your heads in. Locks in, behind your lock.
So the rain starting to fall back from the sky above here. So Canberra here. It's been all them so far, one might say, an attack early on in this match as it comes back there now to Tunavai and Tafita. He'll play it just short of his halfway line. This is Adam Pearce. He's from the Kangaroos in the Canberra Rugby League. Back to Ulrich. He finds Conlon, a product of the Bulldogs. Lining up now to take it forward is Cullen. 35 metres out from the Newcastle line. Williams. Away down to Crisp. Tunavai. In the touch.
Yeah, 20 foot on the line.
So Canberra, I guess that's the youthfulness of their side, trying to throw it around at every opportunity, as we'll see a scrum being packed down here on the Newcastle 20-metre line here. We're live from Dubbo this afternoon, live across the world on the World Wide Web. Big audience back in Newcastle. There's the bench, Tafua on the left. We'll be waiting to get out there along with Shillings. They're primed, they're prepped. Edwards, no excuses. A big win in round 1 when they knocked off the Greater Northern Tigers by 62 points to 0. Canberra, of course, they haven't had any warm-up games leading into this match. Canberra is in the same spot Newcastle were this time last year. Pendulum has swung. Of course, Canberra played Illawarra in the grand final last year in Mudgee. Didn't quite get the trophy. Illawarra, the current title holders. That's Adams giving it away.
Yeah, Chris Adams, he's a country player of the year last year. Very good dummy half, a very good rear play.
So back to Murray. Callan Richardson is storming through.
Very good take. Oh, and a good tackle too.
But the Bush Rangers, Matt Lyons, comes up with an absolute classic catch. Now that's Adam Missios from Queanbeyan, a fullback for Canberra. Going for a scoot now is Salipo. He's from the Blues. Crunched in the tackle there from Adams. 30 metres out from the Canberra line. They look to go forward now through a great run by Brent Solomon, I believe it is, in jersey number 10. He's from the Kangaroos. They're going to kick inside their own 40, straight to Ikanofo. It's gone over the top of Ikanofo. Fielded at the back by Gordon. Had to pass a fitness test on Wednesday night at training to be in the fullback position. But Edwards has given him the opportunity to shine like this man. Shines every time he's got the ball, Ikanofo. 30 metres out from his own line. That's now Richardson. He goes himself from dummy half. And the Western Suburbs Rosella winger takes him into the ground, assisted there by Williams. 5 metres out from halfway, Adams scooting from dummy half, but he's going to be stopped because he's got a penalty for his own efforts here, Chock. So this is the time when Newcastle can just settle it down and play it at their pace, and Murray's in no time at all to bang it into touch.
Yes, have to get in there 20 and then try something from there. I see Newcastle's defence is very compressed. So, and I was watching the outside people from Canberra trying to get the ball there. So if they get the ball there, it might be curtains.
That's Peter Mannion. 22 metres out from the Canberra line. Back it comes now to Adams. That's Brendan Simpson from Souths. Adams again, looking around. Out the back it comes this time now to Ryan Walker. In the squad to replace Willie Hetta. Back to Gallen. Away to Simpson. Canberra, are they pressed here? Simpson, Jake Finn hits him on the shoulder. Referee says play on. He's called the advantage. And they're held in the field of play here, Chock. 2 metres out from their own line, Canberra.
Yes, you can't make mistakes like that close to the line. Expect to win the game.
So 10 minutes gone here. Saturday afternoon football on Country Rugby League.
Knocked down by Newcastle, 6 to go. Yep.
Yeah, he's started the tackle count. That's Missios. Knocked on here, he says.
Yeah, Canberra's ball. No advantage.
Had he passed it and then knocked on, it would have been your ball. All right, that's mine.
Simon Williams there in 3 on the right-hand side of the screen. Murray on his left.
Wait there. Wait.
Murray not in the scrum position. Of course, Walker holding that position on that occasion. You won't miss this man with the yellow boots taking him forward all day. That's Tunavai.
Inside, 13 offside. 18, mate, 18.
So Canberra here. Bashing and barging their way through the middle. This will bring a penalty. Mannion giving away a penalty there, assisted with Adams in the tackle. Now they're doing a Newcastle and just slowing things down to their pace as they put right boot to the ball. Good kick for touch. Callan Richardson.
Yeah, just with me.
Just sees it going flying way over his head. So Canberra on the attack. This is Adam Pearce.
Hold line. Hold.
That's Ulrich. That's Conlon.
Move now.
Put away by Simpson. Nazari.
3 movements.
Simpson's got him again. Ulrich. Back to Williams. Canberra charging close to the Newcastle goal line here. Gallen finally puts the shoulder into one of the Canberra players here. They cut out one to go to Williams. Last tackle now for Canberra. Williams again kicking it in goal area. Richardson. He sees this go dead.
Too long. I was a good judge of the weather. I think it's come back in again.
Well, handling errors may come into it. This rain will intensify as the match goes on here in Dubbo. We know that Newcastle love to throw it around. Will the conditions prevent that later on? Time will tell. Adams are waiting in a dummy half. They come up the short corridor. They charge right into Williams.
Work your middle again. Hold, go.
Simpson plays it back to Adams. Away to Murray. The most dangerous player out there, one might say, for Newcastle. Then I'd say it would come down to the Adamses and now Walkers, but forward pass here.
With the whistle.
Adams, you can see there, just there's the shot of the clouds and the blue sky in the middle. Fairly dull, overcast afternoon here in Dubbo, home of the Western Zoo, not too far away from the giraffes and the monkeys. As the scrum packing down here, there's the ball boys as well from the local area being evolved here today. As we come back to the scrum, and Canberra here bashing and barging their way, trying to anyway, through the Newcastle defensive structure. Making good inroads up the middle of the park here, Canberra. Simpson's there to bring him into the ground.
You got to come with me.
Backing out to Salipo. Comes out of the Blues. He's been picked up and placed on his yellow boots there in the tackle from the Rebels. Back to Solomon. So options either way of the ruck. Back to Crisp. Captain Crisp. You won't miss him out there in the 5/8 jersey. He's the captain of the side from the Kangaroos. That's him now, putting it in the in-goal area. Murray's got to go back into the in-goal area and take it dead. Goal line drop out here for Newcastle. More pressure coming up for them.
Another 6 for Canberra. And they look as though they can score a try very shortly, the way they're going. They take straight up through the forwards. It's been a tough game, especially a forward game. And with this drizzly rain that's here, it's making the ball very slippery.
This is Conlon.
Shoulder charge.
Dropped the shoulder into him. Can't do that in this day and age of rugby league. So it's all been Canberra in the opening 15 minutes. That's Williams. Goes himself, Williams.
He's been very dangerous, Peter.
He's a bright light, isn't he, Chock?
Yeah, looks a very good player in the making. Looks a young bloke.
Ulrich. Crisp. Newcastle scrambling well. 0-all. Ball goes backwards. Canberra fumbling their way towards the Rebels line here. We'll see a scrum going down here, 30 metres in from touch. Newcastle will feed it, 10 out from their own goal line.
Yes, very lucky to get away with that. One pass more and they might have been in a bit of space.
There's Adams, left-hand side of the screen. Tunavai in 4.
Heads in. Just wait half. Heads down, wait.
This time Murray will feed the scrum for Newcastle. And gives it away to Gordon.
Move line. Hold.
If there was any injury concern with him throughout the week, that's definitely been ratified.
Hold here, 8.
That's Ikanofo screaming for a penalty, trying to tell the Canberra players to get off him. And he's earned a penalty for his own efforts here. 30 out from his own line as Murray puts boot to ball and shoots towards the empty hill and finds touch on the halfway line.
Yeah, very good kick and puts him right on the halfway, puts him on the attack.
So Newcastle rolling it forward down to the Canberra 40-metre line. A bumper crowd in here at Dubbo. The grandstand full to capacity for this semi-final clash. Back there now to Finn. He takes it down to the 30-metre line. We'll go to the crowd shots to prove that shortly too. We like to shoot tight. Oh, Gallen. He's been picked up and driven sideways in that tackle. Back it comes now to Adams. He finds Murray. Murray comes back then out to Gordon. He finds Richardson. Richardson stepping, weaving in the redhead. Is going to be taken to the ground there by Tunavai.
There's a boy down for Canberra. Back play.
12 metres out, back to Murray. He gets it away to Mannion. He finds Gallen. Out the back now to Walker. Walker's been wrestled and brought down by Crisp.
Yeah, it looks like a head wound by the look of it.
They go the short side. What a pass. It's gone
yeah.
forward, halfway back to Newcastle.
Change over marker.
There's an injury coming off here for Canberra 2 on screen. Looks like there's a bit of claret coming from the head.
Here it is.
That's the Bulldogs of Sammy Conlon. Might be able to get a shot of him on the bench along with the crowd. Intense here. The game still locked up at 0-0. What a run here by the Canberra side, charging their way forward. That's Jake Elliott. He plays it back now. It comes away to the Canberra side, who love to offload the ball. This is Tunavai. He's wrapped up on the halfway line for Canberra. Ulrich in a dummy half. Gets it away now to Williams. 45 out. Ulrich. Williams. Being picked up and driven crisp. Welcome to Caltex Park. Last tackle now. Back it comes this time now to Williams. Under pressure. He needs to throw it. He does now. Out to the back to his hookers, who's been shoved in the back. But Marcel Ikanofo slipping over, but he was able to sustain his feet and take Newcastle back out to the 30-metre line. Adams gets it across now to the 14ers with it. That's Chad Redmond from Western Suburbs Rosellas. Takes a shot there of Elliott. Adams again. They're rampaging their way over the halfway line here. That's Simpson from Souths. Cullen gets off him. Adams goes to Gallen. He goes across field. That was flat there too. I think you'll find that might have been Richardson. Referee said play on. 42 metres out. Back then out to Adams. He finds Murray. Away this time to the 11. Then that is Roos. Newcastle trying to go forward and backwards all at the same time. That's Walker. He now finds Marcel, and he's going to be tackled about 40 metres out from the Canberra line. Last tackle now for Newcastle. Back to Murray. He's going to put in a high kick out wide. Diffused brilliantly at the back for Canberra. And now they've been smashed into the ground here, Chock, right on their own 20-metre line.
Yeah, very good take. Very safe player.
So Canberra here being picked up and driven back towards their own goal line. Nazari. Thought for a moment he might have been split. Knocked on.
Yeah, right in a position for Newcastle to attack.
Newcastle. Their moment now. Haven't seen much of the football, have they? Down inside the Canberra 30 on the attack.
The only times they've done that, but they've dropped the ball when they've got down in that area. So they have to put a lot more pressure on Canberra.
Let's go.
Mark Tafua on the field for the Newcastle Rebels. Plenty of NRL experience, of course, before he came to Western Suburbs. He went around in the NRL with the Cronulla Sharks. So he's got a bit of a jersey swap here to, I think that might be the 13 in Michael Cullen, is it? In 13, just getting a few running repairs on the run. There he is now, just about.
I think they took about 4 rolls of Elastoplast off him. Right, look at it.
I think the local Bunnings shop has run out there, Chock. Oh, Gordon has put it down for Newcastle. Don't know what's going through the mind of Edwards right now, the coach, but a little bit uncharacteristic here from the Rebels. Early days yet. And there's the Terry Quinn, the CEO of the Country Rugby League, with his mates. There's Ricky Walford on the right, tucking into a meat pie.
Oh, he's a good pie eater.
Now to Tunavai.
Come hold, captain.
The Tier 1 semi-final. Loser bows out of the competition. Winner progresses to meet the winner of our next clash between Illawarra and the Central Coast. Ulrich giving away. Block forward is with it. 40 metres out from the Newcastle line. Cullen plays it. Short and sharp. Straight into Tafua and Mannion, along with Simpson. So Williams decides to kick it along the ground. Gordon
Good
has to
kick.
play at it. Great kick, wasn't it, Chock?
Yeah, right in that corner. That's where they have to play it.
Right out of the script, I think, there of Canberra. Kicking it deep, chasing through. So they'll look to push Newcastle well back inside their own 10-metre zone here. Marcel, he says, let's go for a dig from dummy half. Straight into Pierce. Adams. Away to Mark Tafua. Over 200 first-grade games in the NRL. Quick go forward. They'll have to limit that if they're going to win Canberra. Great kick in between fullback and winger. That's the Warriors as Ryan McQueen out there in jersey number 2. And Gallen drives him towards the eastern touchline. That's Missios. The fullback, dangerous, crafty, alert. Straight into Lakes United's Josh Charles. Lost the football there.
I think it was Captain Chris.
Could that come back and bite them? Time will tell. Chock Anderson in the broadcast box today.
A few of these players out of Canberra standing out in the backs here on their knees. So here's the chance for Newcastle to get the ball and put some points up.
There's Tafua. There's Adams just looking around, and Murray just looking around at his charges. Is this a rehearsal from what we witnessed at training the other night? One out stuff to Gordon.
Held one, stand up, work it left side.
So the Rebels coming forward through Mark Tafua.
Held two men now.
Adams in a way. Now to Mannion. Penalty every day of the week.
He called him offside and he took the tackle and a penalty. Quick tap.
Shillings is on. In 20. Adams. Can they crack him here? Murray, great pass. Oh, Walker's gone without it. It's play on. Marcel's got the ball. Marcel's coming back on the infield. Ikanofo plays it back to Walker. Now to Charles. Harden straight there into Oppo. Back to Adams. Away to Murray. Turns it back. That's Shillings. 2 metres out from the line. Here come the Rebels. Back then out to Murray. They cut out Gordon. Away now to Williams. Richardson will get down low and score. First try for Newcastle. 4-0. Callan Richardson opens the NR. Well, it's a good one, isn't it? The CRL scoreboard's alive. 4-0 with a kick to come.
Yeah, very good pass from inside. Cut out pass and straight into Callan's hands, and all he had to do was more or less run to the line.
There he is there. The only redhead in the western suburbs, Rosella's side. Fiery customer. Loves a try. No stranger to the leading point scorer of the Newcastle Rugby League competition as well. Can sniff out a try from anywhere on the park, just like that man in the middle of the screen, Marcel Ikanofo. Quietly spoken bloke, Marcel. Very religious too, as Murray, great ball. And Williams has floated a beautiful ball. And I'll tell you what, that might have knocked the confidence out of Canberra here. Youthful side, long way to go. But Newcastle, in the corner they went. Murray.
Yeah, two very good passes, Peter. One by Murray, the halfback, out to Williams, and Williams a nice pass to Callan Richardson, who just strolled over in the corner.
He loves pressure. He loves big-time football. Brad Murray, the leading point scorer for Lakes United in the Country Rugby League. Got a great kicking game on him. Not on this occasion, though.
No, very ordinary kick, and that's where it was pointed to, and that's where it ended up.
So there he is, Bradley Murray, one of Bar TV's favourites. Loves getting the microphone every time we go out to training. He's got the highest ratings program on Bar TV at the moment as well.
Yeah, there's Graham Perkins out there, former Knights employee, helping out with the Newcastle Rugby League.
Well, he was at the Knights for a long time, wasn't he, Perkins? Great trainer. That's Tafua. He'll run at you all day.
Hell, 1 up, 15 up.
Try tackling him all the way through to the 80th minute. Just like this man. If it's not Tafua running at you,
17,
it's Warren Shillings.
Not there, 3.
That's Adams.
Good now.
The
3
Rebels to the 40-metre line.
Go.
Gallon,
He's had a fair game, Gallon.
penalty. He's just a workhorse, Gallon. I mean, when they knocked off the Tigers, when was it? On the 14th of May, wasn't it? Shock a few weeks ago anyway. He drove up the M1 and then 40 minutes after full time.
He went and played against Maitland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many do that in this day and age?
Oh, fantastic.
So the Rebels finding their groove, finding their rhythm,
Hold middle, wait. Go.
testing Canberra out in defence here. That's Warren Shillings.
They're just taking it forward.
Hold. Go.
This is Adams. Dangerous. He loves this part of the field. Away now to Gordon. Wrapped up there by Williams. Back then out to Williams. Again away to Murray. He finds Mannion. He's dangerous. He's a good ball carrier of that and an offloader. Not quite demonstrated there. Murray goes short. That's Gallon.
Over Gallon.
He'll score from there any day of the week. And
And
he scored here in Dubbo for the Newcastle second try.
Yes.
8-0 kick to come.
Very good pass by Murray again. He put Gallon into the gap and all he had to do was fall over the line.
Well, there he is there. We just spoke about his giant work rate in the Newcastle Rugby League competition. Not just when he plays for the Rebels, but when he plays for the Macquarie Scorpions. He just goes that extra mile. He's an inspirational leader, and he just motivates everybody around him. That's what you need. Leader from the front, and that's who he is. This is the try on the replay, Chock. Talk me through this.
Yeah, straight to Brad. Brad's pushed off the halfback. There was no contest, and Gallon's scored just not far from the post.
So Bradley Murray kicking towards the zoo end here at Caltex Park. An easier one from his first attempt. Brought it back. 20 metres out. Looking down the goal post. That's an easier conversion for him. Oh! It's hit the post.
Yeah.
So none from 2 from Bradley Murray so far in this game. And there's Gallon.
They look as though they have to score tries, but they're not kicking goals.
Look at him, ready to run it back. You can put your money on he's about to get the ball if they kick it towards him right now. He's right back on that dead ball line. He loves to fly onto it. So Saturday afternoon football goes straight down to Richardson. He goes himself the winger. And straight into Adam Pearce. That's Gordon. That's Mannion. Hard and straight towards the middle of the field. Come and get me, he sends the signal out to Jack Elliott. So the 14 is on for Newcastle. That's Chad Redman. That's Tafua. That's Shillings. Cutting out Mannion to go to Williams. And Trey Williams, the halfback, wraps him up. Back there now to Redman. Away to Shillings again. Hard and straight. Gets the legs pumping and takes Newcastle to the Canberra 40. Now to Murray. Kicking in between fullback and the winger. Lyons from the Bushrangers. He's got Missios on his right. But Missios runs straight into a brick wall, of course, led by that man again, Blake Gallon.
Yeah, very good chase by Newcastle.
Held 2 moves, 20 moves, square.
So Canberra coming out of the southern end here.
Yeah, penalty.
Well, this will help them. Shock. They needed this.
Played it beforehand, you get there.
Really been thumped, aren't they? Inside their own half, Canberra. This is the kick for touch, and it's a good one. What a kick. 40 metres out, Canberra about to go on to the attack. Yasser's Santo Opo takes the tap and sends Nazari on a run. He's from the Blues, from the Canberra Rugby League. Now this is the Bulls' Jack Elliott. Sideway effort there by Tafua. Back there now to the captain in Crisp. Away now to Williams. He finds Tunavai. Lost a football there, Tunavai. They can't afford that against the Rebels. Doesn't matter where it is on the park. The bustling biggest player for Western Suburbs in Mark Tafua. Takes it out to the 40-metre line. Gallen wants it. Won't get it just yet. That's Simon Williams. Penalty. There's 9 representatives from Western Suburbs, which is pretty much the prominent side in the Newcastle Rugby League, selected for the Newcastle Rebels. And they'll have to go back to Newcastle tomorrow. Well, a lot of them are going back tonight, because a lot of these players will back up in the Newcastle Rugby League tomorrow. We've got the top of the table clash coming up tomorrow between Western Suburbs and Lakes United. That game will be live from 3 o'clock at Harker Oval. That's Mannion. He'll be featuring if he can back up injury-free from this clash. Like this man, Tafua. He charges up towards the 20-metre line. The Rebels here. 8 points to 0. They're hungry for more. Back to Gallen. Great ball. Shillings is close. Shillings has been pushed back sideways. 2 metres out from the goal line. After his second, Gallen out the back to Murray. Where's Marcel? The crowd favourite. He wanted it, couldn't quite get it. Canberra back on their own goal line. Back for Murray, creating havoc. Gordon coming through. Gordon will lose it and force it over the dead ball line. Gee whiz, we might be able to get a replay of that, because I thought if he got the ball clean, he would have been next to the post. Just went straight through his body there. So back out we come. This is it here. Look at this. If he got it cleanly, but credit to Trey Williams, the 7. I think he might have just tried to kick it, hoof it out of his possession there, Chock.
Yes, it was a touch and go.
So here they come, the Canberra side, down by plenty, 8 points to 0. Tafua meeting his man right on the 30-metre line. We're live and exclusive. Under a rainbow, starting to form out the back here at Caltex Park. We've seen everything. Back to now to Pearce. He'll take his time getting up after that shot from Mannion. Welcome to Tier 1 Rugby League here in Dubbo. Back there now, it comes away now to Crisp. Crisp wrestled into the ground. 8-point ball game here. Newcastle dominant so far. Here's the kick into the sunshine. Richardson collects it. Confidence as always. Finding Gordon. Now to Marcel and Ikonofo. 20 short of halfway. Tripping over there. It's Josh Charles from Lakes United. We'll see him go around tomorrow in the live stream in the Newcastle Rugby League. Top of the table clash. Looking forward to that one. Losing the ball. Canberra. Entire nation down there go up as Newcastle lost that ball. Penalty.
No, can't have 3 markers.
3 markers there, Chock.
Yeah, right on. With 3 minutes to go to the halftime siren, a very important set of 6 coming up.
The first 40 minutes has been furious and ferocious. 8-point ball game here in Dubbo. Back to the captain in Crisp. Pearce. To the Newcastle 20-metre line.
No, you stand, release his hand.
Player released. That's Elliott from the Bulls. Newcastle back on their own goal line. That's Williams. Tunavai, dangerous. He's strong. Richardson takes the tackle. Missios. Back there now to Williams. Away to Elliott for his second touch. And Canberra are on the last. What are they going to do? They're going to send it into the in-goal area. Williams is chasing, but Richardson saves the day for Newcastle.
Off blue, he was in front of him.
Off blue.
Drop out here.
Line drop out. another set of 6 to Canberra.
So Chad Redmond's on the park for Newcastle. There he is there in 14. So 2 minutes remaining in the first half here. Pitches powered by Bart TV Sports, thanks to the Country Rugby League. So Newcastle, they're not in any rush. As Murray about to send this ball straight down into Canberra possession. And Sione brings it back and takes the tackle there of Tafua. Now to Oppo. He sends it to the left-hand side. This is Pearce. Runs straight into Mannion. 20 away from the line. Down by 8. Crisp. One-on-one tackle there. Tafua over the top. Chance now for Canberra. Minute to go before the break. Williams goes short. This is Shaw. He's from the Sharks. Where's Crisp? That was him offloading.
Last tackle.
50 seconds on the clock. There's the kick into the in-goal area. Opo's chasing. But Gordon sees this crash into the fence. And they've taken it dead again. Another goal line dropout as Steve Gordon has to jump the fence and go and get the ball.
Well, that's all time consuming because we haven't got a shot clock here for the dropout. And he is taking his time, so they might get 2 tackles.
So 26 seconds to go. Newcastle 2 tries in the first half.
Let's go, Captain.
And Murray, he'll be looking for a stab sort of dropout to get back underway. And they wind up again, and Sione, he powers back onto the ball. Canberra now taking it forward. The siren's going to go in 2 seconds' time. Last play for Canberra. They kick it into the in-goal area. Marcel's back there, and Marcel kicks it dead. And that's half-time here on the Country Rugby League scoreboard. Newcastle up by 8 points to 0 over Canberra. A quick 40 minutes of rugby league. That was fast, that was furious, but Canberra, they're in it right up to their head. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break and come back for the second half here. Newcastle leading by 8 points to 0. A break and back to Dubbo in a few minutes' time.
game will be better than Matt's game. Illawarra should beat them 30. Should.
Only thing you missed out on is footy's atmosphere, don't you?
Too exciting out there.
So the Newcastle Rebels making their way back out onto Caltex Park here in Dubbo. 40 minutes away from booking themselves in a spot in the 2016 Country Rugby League Championships Grand Final. 2 tries in the first half. Canberra, it's all in front of them. Welcome back, Chock Anderson.
Yeah, report from the dressing rooms. Geez, I'm getting big. Yeah, Newcastle got one little injury problem. Cal Richardson has his quad injury, but went back on. And the number 8 for Canberra will not be Sam Conlon. He won't be back today. He's got 5 different cuts on his face, which will require stitches in every one of them.
So not great news for Sam Conlon, and no doubt he'll be out of action for the Bulldogs in the local competition, possibly for a few weeks. Speaking of Canberra, here they come now, coming out of the tunnel. To only be down by 8, it's a credit to this youthful side. Got to remember, it's a new look side in 2016. This time last year, they had over, I think the stat was over 200 NRL games, but they've gone for a fresh look. It's a young side, but they're planning Canberra for the future in that area of the world. So we're about to get underway here. The crowd back into the box.
And here's our selectors out the front of the box there, Peter, looking over the play today, and they do a wonderful job. Lindsay Johnson, Rod Henniker and Mel Graham, all former NRL players.
Oh, fantastic. Well, here we go, Shock. 40 minutes down, 40 minutes to go. You're on Bar TV Sports, and bringing it back for the first touch is the inspirational Western Suburbs captain in Tafua. Now to Gallen.
He's been very solid, Gallen.
Been everywhere. If you ever want a bloke that will lead you down the path to victory, look no other than Blake Gallen, inspirational leader. Here's the kick inside the 40 off the boot of Redmond. Great kick, splitting fullback and the winger. Missios has got to go away and collect it out here.
A very good kick and a very good chase.
And he runs straight into the Newcastle defensive line structure. And one of them over there, of course, was the 12 in Peter Mannion, who'll look to back up tomorrow when Western Suburbs take on Lakes United. So Canberra here, first set of 6 for them in the second half. 8-0 if you just clicked onto the stream. 2 tries to 0.
Get here, left. Hold 18.
2 kicks unsuccessful off the boot of Murray. That's Richardson about to collect the football right on his own 20-metre line.
And a good straight line defence and chase by Canberra to keep them down there.
Go.
Gordon coming in off the dummy half region, picks up 10 metres for the Rebels. Now back it comes this time to Peter Mannion.
3, move 11. 14, keep coming.
Over the halfway line into Canberra's territory. Redmond. Again, they work it to the edge of the field. And going down there is Williams. Back there now to Gallen. That's the last tackle now for Newcastle. Where's Marcel? Murray is kicking it towards Marcel. They go up. And Josh Charles, he had the first chance to come back down with it for Newcastle, but Ryan McQueen jumped higher and Marcel wraps him up right on their own 10-metre line. Lifting in that tackle, but didn't cross the horizontal, so no penalty came. They're about to come outside their own 20-metre line. This is Jake Elliott. Plays for the Bulls in the Canberra Rugby League. That's Naziri. Comes out of the Blues camp in the district competition. So they come up the commentary side and they run straight into Josh Charles.
Work your right. Go.
Back to the middle. Banging it off the boot there of their captain in Crisp. Straight down to Richardson. He's got Gordon in pursuit. And Gordon runs straight into Naziri right on the Newcastle 30-metre line. Now to Marcel. Loves this type of work. Loves getting his hands dirty and trying to capture the forwards offside in defence. That's Warren Shillings. That's Redmond. Adams is off the field for Newcastle as we see a bus made here by Ryan Walker. Had a good game. No header today. Back then out of Gallen. That's Murray. Murray goes wider. Away now to Richardson. Last tackle now for Newcastle. Look for the kick. Murray.
Oh, bad kick. Straight in the hands of the...
Maybe the worst kick in his rugby league playing career there from Murray. If he had that over again, that wouldn't be happening, Chock.
No, he hesitated. No, I thought he should have went higher out to come back towards his winger and then have a go at a jump and catch and hopefully saw a try. But that didn't happen. It was a bad kick near the defending on the halfway.
3 there, release him now.
Shillings in there for Newcastle, along with Tafua. Now this is Mitchell Shaw. Runs straight into Macquarie's Blake Gallen. That was flat. Referee said play on though. Last tackle now for Canberra. Under clear blue skies now in Dubbo. Nice contrast with this ball about to fall straight into...
Had no chance of picking that up.
Well, he's lost it anyway.
Knocked it on. A penalty Newcastle.
Well, Marcel.
All offside.
Uncharacteristic there from that man on your screen there. On the right, him on this. There he is there, Marcel. Just getting a bit of attention on the run from his teammate with Lakes in Josh Charles. But Murray here will bang Newcastle well outside their own 10-metre zone. They don't come much better than that. Picked up 30 metres off the boot there of Murray. That's Josh Charles.
Oh, good run.
Power 1, move 3, move. Work your middle.
Now Ikanofo. Dangerous. Crafty. And he's a little whippet. Leading try scorer for the Lakes United side. Back then out to Williams. Throws it out the back, trying to find Callan Richardson, but...
knock on off Canberra by the sound of that. And looks like Newcastle's ball. And, yeah, the coach is, seems to be getting a bit angry there.
Looks a bit cold. Doing his zipper up.
Yes. He's down the shade.
About 9 degrees here. As a lonely...
Is that a seagull?
Well, I was just trying to figure that out myself. What is it? It's got a long beak. He's looking for a few of your chips, Chock. He's not going to find them up there.
Down. Wait, half back, wait.
May have escaped from the zoo. That's Walker. Walker!
Hell, one, no more, 12.
Redmond. Shillings. Charles. Captured by Captain Chris.
Held.
10 metres away, Newcastle. Ruse. Within 2 metres.
Play on.
Redmond burrowing from dummy half.
Move.
They're short Canberra to their left.
13, move.
Newcastle may come that way. That's Murray. He's identified they are short. Mannion gets it away. Williams, Richardson for the try line, and he's in the touch. Great scrambling defence attack by Canberra. They just pushed him into touch, Richardson, and he's gone halfway up to that bird on the hill.
Yes, he has.
Don't have a sleeper that close to the line.
I'm still not convinced. I think it could be a seagull.
In the wrong spot.
Well, it's two-leg variety. We can confirm that.
Oh, yes.
Need a
But
lot.
Where is it, Chock? We might be able to get a shot. I'm a bit worried. It's going to go in someone's backyard if we don't get onto this. There it is.
Yeah.
What is that, Chock?
I'm not sure.
Hell, one, stand up.
The crowd's telling me it's an ibis.
Oh, I thought that was a motel.
Hell, 2 right.
Oh, that's a good one, Chock.
Hold.
The ibis. Well done.
3.
We love comedy.
Oh, well.
I think we've found our new...
We better do the football.
we might.
Oh, and he broke through.
He is away, comes down to Gordon, he draws, he offloads, back to Williams. Marcel's no chance. Williams is under the post. Canberra, they're coming back. 8-4, kick to come.
Very good try by the halfback. He's got a lot of pace and he's got a lot of class about him too.
Well, Williams has been causing havoc all day. Their halfback.
Who was the tackler? Fullback, yeah, I thought it was.
And there he is on your screen right now.
I think there's going to be Newcastle player called out here for the late tackle.
This is the replay of the try. Look at
Yes,
this.
I think Stevie Gordon could be in a bit of strife here.
No, it made contact. Listen to me. Listen. No, turn face this way.
We'll go in and have a listen here as we go back to the live shot.
Could have been coming back for a penalty. Okay.
But the try has been awarded, and Chris will have the option
Wasn't it?
to convert the try from right in front. We've got a ball game here in the semi-finals. Anyone's match. Rugby league. Don't you love it? Simon Wolford telling his trainer to huddle his players as this kick is about to possibly go right over from right in front of the post.
That opens the game right up now. But the score will be 8 points to 6, and this player is getting replaced.
Bangs it over. 8-6. Newcastle still with their noses in front as one of the injured players from Canberra about to get a well-earned rest. Got a few teeth problems. Just displaying his Colgate smile there on the screen as well. So Saturday afternoon football coming out of Caltex Park here in downtown Dubbo.
Stand 12, stand.
Under clear blue skies. Turning out to be a fabulous afternoon for rugby league here.
Move 12. Another step here left. Hold.
And a fabulous contest unfolding.
3 there. Release now.
There's another Canberra boy down in the background.
4 movement. Work here left side.
Outside the 40.
Outside. 12 again, mate. 12.
Marcel's going away to collect the ball. He might even give Gordon the opportunity to go away and field it at the back for Newcastle. And straight into the tackler
1, let go.
of Nazari. So Marcel comes up with it now for Newcastle. Goes across field, beats one, beats two, beats three, Marcel. And Ikenofo's wrapped up there by Jack Elliott. Richardson goes in a dummy half, gets it away now to Charles. And he wrestles his way down towards halfway. The Knights go around the NRL in a few days' time, but the Rebels are here. They're 42 metres out from the line. Gordon giving it back there now to Shillings. Great ball to Walker. Wrapped up, last tackle now for Newcastle. Murray wants it. Doesn't go to him. So Redmond puts boot to the ball. Hoists it high. What a kick.
Had no chance.
Comes back to Gallen. Will he restart the tackle count? He does. Opportunity now for Newcastle. Away to Murray. They've got to score. Away to Williams.
Oh.
He finds Richardson. Shut
it.
the gate. Juggle the try. That's class on display there for Newcastle Rebels.
Yes, a very bad read by two Canberra players there. Enabled them to drop the ball. Picked up by the ever. How could I put it? No, I won't call him an evergreen, but Blake is having a fantastic game of rugby league here today, and that's Blake Gallen. Picked the ball up, and they were very short on the other side. Even though Callan did probably juggle the ball, it was always going to be a try.
And this is it on the replay, which is the matter of putting it through their hands. And Richardson juggled it, it bobbled. But he got over the line, and who was there to congratulate him? It was Peter Mannion and Brad Murray. And speaking of Bradley, right out there on the eastern touchline, looking into the setting sun here in Dubbo. 12 points to 6.
Another very important kick coming up. I'll just put them a try and the goal in front, which means they still have to score twice. Yes, and thank you for the texts that I am getting. Yes, it is an Ibis, and there is a place, and there is a motel called Ibis too.
You're trending on Twitter as we speak. The top trender.
I'm lucky I can read texts, but I don't know how to do them.
Jock Anderson, here's Murray, Chock from the touchline. He's bringing it back around. He's kicked it from the touchline. What a kick by Murray. His first one of the afternoon, and he's knocked it straight over the black dot here. Takes the score along to 12 points to 6 with that conversion. Now makes it 14 to 6 on the Bar TV Sports scoreboard.
Yeah, we're still with 26 minutes to go, so there's plenty of time for Canberra to get back in the game.
Let's stay on.
Welcome back, Saturday afternoon football on Bar TV Sports. It's a high kick, goes straight down to Walker. Walker's got Marcel. Walker's gone straight through. Marcel's in support. He runs away from Marcel. Walker still going, and Missios wraps him up.
One there.
That's Charles. Goes himself. Newcastle getting a good roll on here.
Hold.
Redmond. Gallen. Murray. Mannion.
3, move now.
Back slammed into the turf. Redmond. Away to Tafua. Hard to stop, big mark. He's held up.
Referee was in a perfect position to see whether he got the ball down.
Wait.
Held up.
On the line, on the line. 4, play it. 5.
So the crowd getting involved here. A lot of people have come across from Newcastle. There's the kick in the end goal area. Tafua's after it.
Knock on, Blue,
Knocked on Tafua.
Out 20.
Back out to the 20 we come.
No. Get away from my guys to get there. 0.
So 14 points to 6 here on semi-final day. As we now see Canberra charging towards Murray. 30 metres out from the line. Canberra here looking to come to the halfway line at every opportunity, and they do exactly that now through Lipio. Rolling forward through Cullen down to the 40-metre line of Newcastle.
3,
23 minutes to go. Who's going to book a spot in Saturday's grand final? Will it be Canberra? Will it be Newcastle? Comes back there now to Navai. Last tackle now for the Canberra side. Off the boot of Crisp. Marcel bouncing and bouncing over the dead ball line it goes.
Newcastle, just 2 replacements coming on in Fridge and Chrissy Adams. So Chrissy Adams will go to, I would imagine, will go straight to the, I would have taken Blake Gallen off. I would have left him on there.
Replacements coming off the field for Newcastle. Blake Gallen's coming off. We'll get a shot of Blake Gallen coming off the field now, coming towards the Bar TV Sports camera. And that man on screen right now, Adams, is about to go back onto the field. So interchanges being used for Newcastle. As Steve Gordon slowly awaiting the ball. Doesn't have to wait any longer. Penalty.
Silly penalty. We're going to put them probably right on the 20-metre line to attack with 6 tackles.
The Murray again, banging the ball into touch. And finds the line here, 30 out from the Canberra line. 14 points to 6. Don't go anywhere. This game is certainly about to rev up if it hasn't already. That's Jake Finn. Chris Adams, he's fresh. He's back out on the park. That's Warren Shillings.
Lost it. I got it.
He's just lost it there. Shillings just popped out there, Chock.
Yeah, very ordinary mistake, especially with 5 tackles to go in the attacking position.
1 minute here. 1 minute worth. So win the first couple.
So I've got a break in play. We'd like to thank our major sponsors. AAMI Insurance. Next time you're in town, make sure it's AAMI Insurance that you get on.
Heads in.
And Bar TV Sports powering the coverage today with multiple angle coverage. We have 2 of those sponsors and broadcast partners. We wouldn't be getting the exposure that we are getting in 2016. Interchange players about to go on again for Newcastle. Matt Herman's about to go onto the field as Canberra struggling to come outside their own 40-metre line. Referee giving a good 10 metres, both of the sides. He's had a good game, our ref. That's the Sharks' Mitchell Shaw.
Very strong tackle there.
Stand just here.
Solomon's coming on the field for Canberra as well in 10.
Offside 10.
Little chip and chase. Missios chasing. Missios. He's got the ball, but the referee's going to call it up.
About 2 or 3 off you guys. Change over there.
So we've got
Change over to Newcastle.
Gallen on the interchange bench right now, along with Chad Redman. And as I mentioned, Matt Herman about to come out onto the field. That's Jake Finn. Chock's here for the afternoon. He's settled back in watching a fantastic Tier 1 battle unfold
White line.
on Country Rugby League. Now to Tafua.
They've been very strong, Tafua and Shilling, since they've been come on. They've probably been 2 of the better players who have gone forward. Oh, good pass.
Great passing game there by the Rebels.
No more. Line.
Now to Roos. Murray juggles it. He'll kick it. He'll chase it. They'll send Canberra going back to their in-goal area to clean up. It's a dropout, Chock. More pressure coming up now for Canberra.
Yes, another 6 tackles to Newcastle and see what they can do with around about 19 minutes to go.
They look a little bit tired here. There's Crisp, the captain. They're going to get another workout in defence here. Newcastle, are they lifting? Looks like they are. They're caught a little bit offside here, Newcastle. They didn't expect the kick to come down that quick to Marcel. And Ikanofo bumps his way back.
Dropped the ball into.
He'll play the ball back now. 35 metres away. Comes back there now to Charles. He's been wrapped up there, pants and all, down to the 20-metre line. Semi-final day. Great to have your company live from Dubbo. Back there now, it comes to the 10 in Jake Finn. Tafua, he's lining up to take it forward if they come right, Newcastle. That's the way they come. There he is. That's the captain of Western Suburbs. On his back, 2 metres out. Murray's with the ball. Murray takes it to the line. Shillings back to Murray. Murray flicks out the back. It's alive. 6 more, says Chock, so we'll say it is true. It is true. Picked up by Marcel. He beats 1. He beats 2. And he's been nearly clouded across the neck there by Canberra. 6 more tackles coming up now for Newcastle. Back to Roos. He throws a dummy and he's going to be dropped down. 1 metre away from the Canberra line. Here come Newcastle. Back to Charles. He's dangerous. He's strong. He's ferocious. And he's denied by a metre. He's held up. Can't get it down though, Chock. Newcastle get it back. That was only the second tackle.
He's a very strong centre. He unfortunately got held on his back and they come back to the 10-metre line where they'll start again.
So Adams, fresh as a daisy, gets it away to Murray. Murray away to Shillings. Shillings finds Gordon. Gordon goes wider. Out it comes now to Williams. He's got Richardson.
Oh,
Richardson will score.
No, it's not Richo.
It's not
Richardson.
Richardson.
The redhead. No.
It's not the redhead. They've changed wings.
That's a blackhead, and I don't know which one it is.
Well, there you go. What's going on?
Matt Herman, is it?
Well, he's playing very wide out on the wing. It's not the redhead. We know that. It's not Ronald McDonald. Walker. Ryan Walker. What was he doing out on the wing? He's a 5'8".
Versatile.
That's what you call it?
Yeah.
Versatile. He can play anywhere. This is it on the replay. Don't worry about Richardson when you've got Walker, the 5'8", playing out on the wing. Have a look at this. He's just... Well, what is he doing out there? He's scoring tries. That's what he's doing, Chock.
Well, he might have been put out there because Callan Richardson's gone off the field, so they might have put him out on the wing and brought Matt Herman into the 5'8".
Yeah, we're just seeing now, coming off the field, Richardson along there with Tafua. So Richardson's on the bench. There he is down there now.
Yeah, he was struggling there at half time, so
yep,
probably he's got a quad injury, so they've replaced him.
This is the bench right here. There is Tafua on the left, and there's Richardson.
Yeah, he's got
third across to the right.
He's got his ice on his leg there now.
So he might be doubtful
for tomorrow's game. Yes,
against Lakes at Harker Oval. It's a live stream at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock game tomorrow. Be watching.
Where will you be, Chock?
I'm not 100% sure, but I might be on the lounge watching it.
That's the correct answer. Yeah. Okay, well, there's the kick. It's waved away here. So 18 points to 6. It's the Rebels in control with 15 minutes to go. Well, their road was an easy one to overcome back in round 1 on the 14th of May. Overcame the Greater Northern Tigers 62-0. That was up at Morrie Breen Oval. And now they're up by 18-6. This is the first time Canberra have played.
Dropped the ball.
And now a little mistake here from Simpson.
Just left Canberra back in the game.
Well, the gate certainly not fully closed. It's allowing Canberra a passageway through if they're good enough.
Wait for me, halfback. Wait.
12 points here. Canberra on the attack. Oppo back to now to Adam Pearce. Plays for the Kangaroos in Canberra. That's Cullen. He plays for the Blues. Penalty. Not square, says our referee.
He called Brad Murray offside.
Andrew Astle, our referee, out here today. Of course, with Dylan Clark and Louis Matheson. Now to Solomon from the Bushrangers. Into the squad. Only Bushranger playing for Canberra today. To his feet. Where's Crisp? They don't want to give it to him. They find Williams. Now to Missios. Angling towards touch as Missios. And into touch, Missios goes.
Yeah, good defence by Newcastle.
Marcel leading the choir, along with Dylan Walker there on screen. And Steve Gordon. Canberra just didn't have anywhere to go, did they? But into touch.
I think Canberra, to win this game, I think their halfback, is it Williams? He has the ball more in his hands. So if he gets the ball in his hands, he's in danger.
Hold. Wait for me, half. Wait. Ball in. Out.
Murray gives it away. And Adams this time finds himself in at the back of the scrum, giving the pass away to Walker. That's Marcel running straight into Nazari.
Hold. Go.
Shillings runs straight into that man that you were speaking of only a moment ago. In Trey Williams. They're half back for Canberra. Now to Adams. Penalty.
Middle, yes, I still calling his jobs to look for me.
Having a good game, the referees.
Yeah, keeping them apart.
Yes.
Laying down the law when needed. And Murray, bit of a smile on his face there, Bradley. Enjoying his day out so far in Dubbo. Newcastle on a rampage now. That's Jake Finn. Now to Adams. Juggled, regained. Walker. 2 metres in from touch. Josh Charles goes for a dig. Digging his way towards the line. Has he been able to dig his own hole and score? What do you reckon, Chop?
Yeah, try.
It's a try for Newcastle.
We don't have to come up here to the bunker.
No CRL bunker on that occasion.
No. We'll go straight to the board.
22-6. They're dancing in the streets of Newcastle right now.
I'd say they would be. I'd say Matthew Harris and all the boys would be very happy with this result.
Redmond about to come back onto the park for Newcastle as we are about to roll the replay and have a look at this try. This was the lead-up work by Walker. And Josh Charles, he was just sniffing around. He could smell a rat. He could smell Williams's blood. And Williams just gave up in the end. And
Too
Charles
small.
just, crashed over.
Too small and too big. He's had a very good game, Charles. He's a very strong and solid centre.
Murray. Looking down the gauntlet. 5 in. Western touchline. He's bringing it back around, but not enough. So he hasn't had the best day with the boot, but when you're up by 22-6, it doesn't matter as the coach has a chat there to Richardson. They look happy. They're only 10 minutes away from heading off to the grand final next Saturday. Where will that be? We'll find out in about an hour's time. So back here, Saturday afternoon football. They're trying to capture Newcastle off here, and they've been able to do that. This is Oppo. Oppo's away. He's away from Adams. Oppo's still going. What a run. Oppo opping his way towards the line. Back it comes now to Solomon. Solomon's brought down. Newcastle regrouping. They didn't expect that. Great tactic from Canberra to get the ball back. That's Simpson.
I think he's hurt.
This will take a bit of sting out of Canberra. Newcastle probably wanted this. He's hurt his leg there. I think you'll find that's Cullen, is it? The 13?
Number 11.
Is it number 11 you saw, Chock?
We're so good at mathematics.
Well, time off here as we see the Central Coast side coming out onto the field for
we're attacking the line.
Preparation for our next clash.
Come forward.
There's the bench of Canberra looking on. And there's Central Coast behind the goal post. Right down towards the northern end. Or is that the south? That's the southern end, isn't it? That's the zoo end. We should know that. We should know that. So, this halting play here in the semi-final of Tier 1, where we don't ever like to see these sorts of injuries. The trainer there just signalling towards a stretcher, but
he's on his feet, so
that's good news that the stretcher won't be required. He's going to hobble off. And they've just put the stretcher back in place. They didn't want to use it today, and they won't need to use it as the Canberra player just hobbles his way off the park. So 22 points to 6. Hashtag us at Bar TV Sports and let us know, Newcastle, what you think of your side. 9 minutes away from a spot in the grand final next Saturday. Canberra, as we said, a top side, but take nothing away from them. They've really put it to Newcastle, and they've never given up. Great future going forward for Canberra Rugby League, blooding plenty of new rugby league players here in Dubbo today, as the crowd now just applauding as the injured player comes off the park. Back there now to Solomon. He's within 2 metres of the Rebels line. They've been able to manage 6. They're trying to stiff out another 4. Ulrich. That's Crisp. That's the captain. Giving it away to Tunavai. That's Missios. That's the last tackle. Newcastle did well there to hit the ball where they're about to play it through Mannion. Mannion will back up tomorrow when they play Lakes United at Harker Oval. The Western Suburbs, 1 of 9, possibly backing up, but they've lost the ball here, Newcastle. Brendan Simpson has just fell out of his grasp.
There's 2 birds up there now.
Have they multiplied in the last 40 minutes?
Hold it.
I think they have.
Is it still an ibis, Jock?
You can put your head in the scrum.
No, they could be pigeons. I'm not sure.
We've changed bird variety.
Yeah, we changed the variety.
The birds are all out in Dubbo. Up on the hill, trying to find a few chips. They might have escaped from the local zoo, Chock.
They could have.
Back there now to McQueen. He's trying to escape the brutal defence coming over the top from Ikanofo. Back there now to Nazari. Giving it away now to Solomon. Murray calling his charges to come out and help him on the right-hand edge. Canberra may attack that way. Ulrich going sideways before he's thumped there by 3 Newcastle defenders. One of them there was Gordon. Mannion drops off as well. Crisp. Now to Elliott. Last tackle now for Canberra. Tunavai kicking for himself. It's come off a Newcastle player. Williams whicks it downfield. And Matt Herman just sees it go over the touchline. One of our Newcastle touchies out there officiating on that eastern touchline today, which is great to see. I think that's Dylan Clark out there. Both of them anyway, from Newcastle, Lewis Matheson. So great to see that the Newcastle Rugby League doing wonders as far as touch judges and the referees go, promoting not just players to shine on the grand stage, but bringing up the referees and the touchies as well on the big stage. It's the big theatre here today in Dubbo. And Newcastle love a big stage and a big theatre, and Matt Herman, he loves to be probably not what Ike Nikanofo wanted to be there. The man that surrenders the ball and gives McQueen another opportunity. Niggle here. Walker. A little bit of tit for tat here. McQueen told to play it. Still on here. with Josh Charles, it was in the end.
Held one. Move now.
So 22 points to 6. It's getting a bit spiteful here in Dubbo.
Held two now.
That's Elliott. Throwing it around, intercepted well. Chris Adams. If you ever want a jack in the box, it's going to be that man 9 times out of 10, Chock.
Yeah, he's had a good game. It doesn't matter when he goes on the field, he always gives his best.
3 Canberra players combined in the tackle there from Solomon. They're still going Newcastle. And Williams finally puts him onto the deck.
Hold line. Wait.
Playing the ball there was Charles. Backer comes now to the 12 in Mannion. Out wide. Throwing it around the Newcastle side. That's Williams out there. Richardson's on the bench. I don't think he'll be back in the last 5 minutes of this match. That's Redmond running around, stepping, weaving, looking for support. He's got Walker. Cuts out Walker. Gives it away. Roos got the ball. Marcel can go from here. He got it back to Walker. He's through. He comes to Missios. He'll take him on and score a great Newcastle try.
Yeah, very good try. He's had a very good game, Ryan Walker. He's been very strong in defence and his attack has been very good.
Well, Ryan Walker only got his chance to come into the squad after the late scratching of Willie Hatter. And he has proven his spot quite well. So it'll be an interesting choice. It's probably a selection headache for the coach. If Hetter's back next week, what do they do?
Pick 20.
Pick 20? Pick it on the day, Chock. We've got everybody here. Craig Dybert's up here from the Country Rugby League referees. We've got Terry Quinn looking on. Terry's trying to decide where the grand final's going next week. We'll tell you when we know it. As we see now, the replay of that try. And Walker, he loves it. He's no stranger to the try line in Newcastle Rugby League, and he's no stranger to the Caltex try line here in Dubbo. Here's the kick. Squeezes it in.
Nearly right in front. It just squeezed in. His kicking today's been a fair bit off.
Yeah. Bit of practice, I think, throughout the week. But
yeah, 6 tries and 2 goals.
Certainly know how to score points, that's for sure.
3 minutes to go. It looks like Newcastle will be in the final. Possibly, I'm not too sure of the next game, but Illawarra looks very strong.
So the kick goes down to the in-goal area. Newcastle still running with power, and Simpson doesn't want to give up.
10.
The way Simpson brought that back, you would be excused to think that that was the first touch in the first minute of the play. Here's the kick off the boot of Murray. Can it go into touch? Not on that occasion. Missios collects it. He'd be disappointed with that, Bradley. He prides himself on kicking for touch.
Held to there, 18. Here it is, 18.
Williams awaits. Sione charging. Just short of the 40-metre line. So 2 minutes to go in the match. Solomon. 28 points to 6 on the Country Rugby League scoreboard.
Release 10. Behind line here.
The last tackle now for Canberra. Williams hoisting it high. Right into the afternoon sun. Missios has got the ball. But runs straight into Peter Mannion. He's played 80 minutes, Mannion. And he'll go around again for Western Suburbs tomorrow against the Seagulls. You know, we speak of the workhorses of the Rebel side, the Gallons, but you can't leave out of the equation Mannion as well. In his 10th season playing for the Newcastle Rugby League. Playing for his club there with the Rosellas. Been to plenty grand finals and he's won a lot as well. Dynamic player, just like this man who steered them to last year's grand final, Brad Murray. He sends Missios going back. And who's there to lead the chase? The kicker in Brad Murray. He's just everywhere, Bradley. There he is on screen there on the right. There's our cameras sticking with Brad Murray. He'll go around again tomorrow too, Chock, when they take on Western Suburbs. What a battle.
Yeah, it should be a good game.
Man of the match, possibly for Newcastle today, but there's been plenty around him as Canberra shoot for touch and find the line right on halfway. So 30 seconds to go. Newcastle about to go into their grand final. Who will they take on? Will it be Illawarra? Could it be the Central Coast?
2, release 12.
They haven't won it since 2012, I believe. Could it well be their year?
Held. 3 there, right.
Illawarra and Central Coast. They don't want anything of that, though.
That's the game.
That's Oppo. Oppo flicking it out the back. Missios has got it. Missios falls on it. But the referee has said, boys, that'll do us. Newcastle, go get prepared to take on the winner of Illawarra and the Central Coast. That'll be next Saturday live and uninterrupted right here on Bar TV Sports. In the end, Newcastle 28, Canberra 6. Canberra, though, Chock, I'd like to get a few words, mate. They're in a phase where they're building for the future. Credit to them. They stuck with it. But the class of Newcastle just too good in the end.
Yeah, I thought their forwards played very well. I thought the halfback's a pretty good player with limited opportunities. Maybe they're a bit slower in the centres and the 5'8", but they never give up and they kept going. And I thought it was not too bad display by a lot of young blokes who have been given the go.
Okay, Chock. Well, thanks very much for your involvement throughout the entire day, mate. Really appreciate it. You've stepped in and helped an old bugger out, so I appreciate that, mate, and I look forward to having a chat with you more when we go to the grand final next Saturday.
One old bugger to another.
Have a good night, mate.
Thank you.
On that note, we'll take a break and we'll come back with the last match of the day, Illawarra taking on the Central Coast. We'll be joined by the Illawarra Rugby League CEO, Chris Bannerman. Stay with us. It's a semi-finals day on the home of Country Rugby League, Bar TV Sports. So we're underway for our last game here on semi-final day. The crowd's in here. We'll hear the crowd throughout the match as well, and the referee. And it's great to have the CEO of the Illawarra Rugby League in the box for this match, Chris Bannerman. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, g'day, Pete. Nice to be here.
The weather has cleared for Illawarra's clash with the Central Coast. Winner going through to the grand final next Saturday. Live and exclusive right here on Bar TV Sports. You won't be able to miss any of the action. That's Matt Hancock. Blue from Dubbo taking it forward in jersey number 8. So last tackle now for Illawarra. They're going to drill it downfield and test Harley Waters, who comes from the entrance Tigers out there. Great Illawarra defence so far, surging on Walters and driving him back to their own 20-metre line here. So the Central Coast in the first. 0-6 for them here on semi-final day. Out to their own 40-metre line as the Shadows extend across the ground. As Tim Burrell takes it into Illawarra territory. That's Warden. Comes from Wyong in the local competition up there. Last tackle now for the Central Coast. They'll hoist it high. Pori bangs it downfield, but Illawarra there, Chris. Great catch out there, wasn't it, mate? 20 metres out from your own goal line.
Yeah, young fella injured too. He's making his debut for Illawarra, only in his first year of first grade at Corrimal. That'll be a real confidence booster for him to take that. Well done, Andrew.
So Tui playing out there on the eastern wing. First penalty of the match. Going the way of Illawarra here. Our referee for this one is Matthew Edwards. His touch judges are Dylan Clark and Louis Matheson. So a good kick for touch here for Illawarra. They're going to start their campaign here inside Central Territory. So 40 metres away. Proud region. I know the games are being beamed into a number of clubs down in the Illawarra this afternoon. So wherever you're listening, I hope it's a positive outcome come 80 minutes for the Illawarra side. As they come out wide, they're looking dangerous, aren't they? That's Brebner. Very dangerous fullback, loves open space. Back down through the middle of the park they come, McCarthy. Only 2 metres out from central line. This will test the Central Coast defence. Denford. Back there now to Brebner. Brebner dancing across field. He may even go himself. He does. He steps. He beats one. And he's on his back. Johnson. Ball's gone back to the 20-metre line. Central Coast coming through quickly. And Illawarra clean up. But change over here, Chris. Central Coast come away with it, mate. 30 metres out from their own goal line.
Yeah, some good defence from Central Coast and an uncustomary blunder there from Illawarra. A little bit sloppy in that last tackle. Won't be happy about that. I don't think we'll see that again.
Well, they've just turned over easy ball here, the Central Coast.
Good there, boys.
Giving Illawarra another sniff. This is Jacob Denford.
White line. Go, one.
Working the left-hand side. This is their big bustling prop in Matt Hancock from Dubbo. They cut out one. They go to their halfback. Away to Boyle. Nolaya. Playing it back quickly. This is Raper. Dummying, weaving, offloading the ball. McCallum. McCallum has scored the first try for Illawarra. The captain hails out of Helensburgh Tigers. Good start for your boys, leading 4 points to 0.
Yeah, Jason Raper, he's an elusive character and he gets the defence back on the hurls, going out of dummy half. Going to provide real good value, I think, today on the wing as a roving winger. But the big man, Tower, Steve McCallum, it's pretty hard to stop him that close to the line. And the big fella will love that. He loves a try, doesn't get too many. And I think he's really proud that I'd be captaining Illawarra, so it's a great start for him.
Been a great 12 months for him, as we see it on the replay, of course, captaining Helensburgh to grand final folklore last year. So fantastic start for Illawarra here. After 6 minutes. Now the kick from the 2 in Jason Raper. About to line it up. Right in front of the Caltex Park black dot. Chris Bannerman in our broadcast box today. Chris, we haven't been in commentary together since, the NRL.com stream, the Gillaroos and the Ferns. So
True, yeah. Wasn't that a great game?
that was a cracker of a game. And now, Raper looking to convert the try and put them out by a converted try margin. He's done that exactly what the doctor ordered for Jason Raper as the bench look on. Pleased with what they're seeing so far.
I would think so. Bit of big meat on there, isn't there?
There is. A few tattoos there too, mate. The normal thing this day and age.
Yeah, you're rare if you haven't got them.
Yeah, you're out of the club. Here's the kick. Into the afternoon, beaming sunshine. Well, we've had everything as far as weather goes here in Dubbo, and we've seen a second penalty coming away for Illawarra here. Elbow coming down on the throat is the call from Matthew Edwards. So they're going to boot this ball towards the roof and fine touch as the ball crashed into the fence here. So they're about to start their campaign from inside their own 40 as they approach the halfway line. Illawarra running wild through the middle through Steve McCallum. As we mentioned, grand final winner last year in the Illawarra comp. That's Matt Hancock to the 40-metre line of Central Coast. Back to Boyle. Great runner on the inside. It came from that man again in McCallum. Centre of the field. Raper calling for the ball right. But they come out to the eastern side of the field. And that's Mills, I think you'll find in 3 out there. They're in again. Well, it happened so quickly. And Central Coast just couldn't quite take Illawarra out that close to the line. So it's now 10-0 with a kick to come.
Young fella Andrew Toohey, he's touched twice in his debut, and he'll be thrilled with that.
So Andrew Toohey out there on the edge, and Illawarra looking sharp, as you'd expect. This is it here. Crashing their way close. And there you go, just a nuggeting run by Corrimal's Andrew Toohey. And over he goes for the second try for Illawarra. 10-0 on the Country Rugby League scoreboard.
That's a great bit of awareness from the young fellow in his first match. Just took that sniff down the blind side and come out trumps. It's sensational.
Right, the Illawarra Rugby League, new teams in the competition this year. How's everything going?
Yeah, Berkeley Eagles are back in the first grade competition. We've been working with them for a couple of years, and it's great to have them back. I think they're going to be back for the long term. They've been very competitive so far, and I think that'll continue for 2016, and I think they'll be bigger and better into the future.
They don't come much tougher than this, do they? Right on the eastern touchline, looking into the setting western sun here in Dubbo. Looking to curl this back around. But waved away, so no change on the Country Rugby League scoreboard after 10 minutes. What a start for Illawarra. They're in control, 10 points to 0. Get in contact with us, all the fans down in the Illawarra, if they'd like to join the conversation on social media this afternoon. Work your thumbs to your smartphones or your iPad and hashtag Bar TV Sports. And we'll endeavour to read out your messages of support or feedback in general, or a question to Chris about the Illawarra Rugby League. We'll endeavour to answer the questions raised by you. As we see Illawarra trying to break free out to their own 30-metre line here. Taking them forward is the 11, and that's James Gregan. 40-metre line. They're about to cross it. That's Johnson. Great run. Reminds me of Newcastle's Chris Adams, always looking for that extra mile. That's McCallum, straight through. McCallum takes on the fullback. He bulldozed his way across him. Johnson in support, and Johnson, third try in 10 minutes for Illawarra. Not looking great for the Central Coast.
What a powerhouse display from Big Tower, Steve McCallum. That was sensational. And Joel Johnson did well to get there and he had to back him up. Tower nearly did it all himself.
Chris, you're off your feet. You're excited after that run.
The boys look up for it today. They were really buzzing before the match. You know, we were lucky. These guys really take pride in their red and white jumper. They get very excited about it, and they were in the preparation out the back. I thought they looked primed, and I think, unfortunately for Central Coast, we've come out of the blocks really hard, and it's not going to be easy for Central Coast to peg us, Illawarra back. We've got to get some ball and get some momentum, and at the moment it's Illawarra dominating and controlling really well.
Of course, if we turn the clock back 12 months ago, you guys met in this corresponding fixture, if memory serves me correct, and you absolutely put the sword through the Central Coast as your boys look on from the touchline, from the interchange bench. With a smile on.
That's Michael Bullock from the club on the left. He's a big unit. Next to him is Justin King from West. He's even bigger. Then Grant Smith in the black jacket there from Helensburgh, and Matty Siren from Thirroul.
Raper. Kicking towards the Dubbo Zoo end of the field. Makes it look easy. Touch judges raise his flags. So Illawarra, all one-way traffic here in the last match so far. They're up by 14 points to 0 on the Country Rugby League scoreboard, with 27 minutes remaining in the first half. Well, Central Coast, they've just been starved of possession. Illawarra haven't allowed them to get themselves going, as the proud area, Illawarra, bring it back to the 30-metre line and beyond. So 16 points to 0 now. The conversion successful. We're going along pretty nicely at a point a minute here, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Central Coast must be lucky if they've probably seen 12 tackles with the ball at this stage. It's quite remarkable. Illawarra just really controlling and squeezing Central Coast really hard.
And a little bit of lack of discipline there from the Coast, giving another penalty away to Illawarra here. It's probably their third or fourth penalty in the first 14 minutes as the kick goes sailing into touch.
15, be careful how you talk as well.
So the Country Rugby League will decide in the next, well, they probably know right now where the grand final will be come Saturday. Could probably put your money on it going south. That's where all the majority of teams have come from, south of Sydney. So it would only be pretty right to take it down to that part of the area of the state, I guess, but it will be confirmed later. But one thing is for sure, all the games on grand final day will be right here. And we've got an array of commentators lined up wherever the game is next week. We think we might get Sean Timmins, and who else we can get? Chris, anyone else lined up, possibly?
Former NRL touchy, Luke Potter's put his hand up, and I'm sure many more luminaries will be knocking on the door trying to get in, Pete, next week.
They will. Big day coming up wherever the grand final will be held.
When you're ready.
If you're a betting man, you'd probably put it on in and around the Illawarra. You get a big crowd there. The other teams, of course, Riverina, going through to the Tier 2 grand final as well, as Illawarra pounce on the ball and come away with it. This is Denford, and Jacob will play it back here. 20 metres out, leading by 16 points to 0. McCallum, barnstorming his way down to the 10. Denford, McCarthy, it's gone over the top. And they come away with their Central Coast 10 metres out from their own goal line here. So Illawarra throwing it around at will. A rare penalty to get them outside their own danger zone here.
You got to feel for the Central Coast. Had one of their first opportunities for a while and spilled it on the first tackle, but they hung on and finally got a relieving penalty.
Chris Bannerman in the broadcast box. Illawarra Rugby League CEO doing great things down there in the Illawarra. New team in their local competition and a great mix of youth and experience in 2016 in this AAMI Country Championship squad for Illawarra. So Central Coast, real chance now. They've had to wait 16 minutes to be where they are here. Where will it go? Their lock forward has got it. That's Burrell flicking it back on the inside. The 16 scoops it up, and that's Newton. Down to the 10-metre zone of Illawarra. 24 minutes to go in the match in the first half. Here's the kick into the in-goal area. Awkward bounce for Illawarra. Can they get back into the field of play, Chris? They may have coughed it up, and Central might have scored.
Yeah, I think Jason Raper lost it in trying to get out of the in-goal.
Wow. We'll see this shortly on the Bar TV replay.
They desperately needed that, Central Coast, didn't they? And finally got some reward, able to sustain a bit of pressure. So that'll give them something a bit of hope to fight their way back into this.
Well, this is how it happened. The kick was a beauty. Dribbled at the back there from Raper. We'll slow it down. He must have just lost it when he was tackled there by Willis.
Yeah, the forward stripped it from him in making the tackle one-on-one, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good effort.
Fair try. They'll take that any day of the week.
Pretty smart kick too after we've had some rain. The ball's got to be a little bit greasier when it rolls across the grass, which made it a little bit harder for Jason Raper.
That's the kicking equation there for Aidan Wright. Comes out of Wyong on the Central Coast. Highest point scorer in the local competition on the coast. Let's see if he can bang this one over. As the sun disappears here at Caltex Park. So after 18 minutes, the Coast. Are they about to convert? Yes, they can. So try converted. 10-point ball game here. Illawarra still with the upper hand. 16 points to 6. We're live, we're exclusive, and we're coming out of Caltex Park here in downtown Dubbo.
Yeah, beautiful Dubbo.
On a brisk afternoon for football.
Mate, I can tell you that Illawarra will be filthy at letting that try in. I know these guys take real pride in their line, and as silly as it may seem, they won't be happy about that.
So Saturday afternoon football's back underway in the Coast, rampaging their way back into Illawarra's defence. And Green was there to put Warden onto his back. So that try certainly lift the tempo of Central Coast, which is good to see. That's Warden. Hancock gets off him. They're about to come to the halfway line. That's Jay Florimo. Johnson drops off. That's the halfway line. That's Florimo. 5th tackle now. Back to the kicker. Upori goes high to the air. Pressure at the back for Illawarra. They make it look so simple in the end. Nice catch.
Wayne Bremner does a great job, doesn't he, the fullback? He's very safe.
Bremner. Safe as the Bank of England at the back for Illawarra. If you want to count on somebody getting you out of trouble, don't go any further than Wayne Bremner. That's the 30-metre line now. Coming out of the northern end here. Coming away from the Dubbo RSL end of the ground. Last tackle. Outside 40. Got it straight into the back. It was played at. 6 more tackles for Illawarra coming up here. Raper stepping, weaving, breaking free. Look at him go. Still going, Raper. He comes outside the 40. Wow, how good was that from the winger? Now he's got a penalty, Chris.
Like he's covered in spiders, isn't it?
It is. He was just trying to get his, get his legs out of the spider web. and he managed to do it so easy.
Jason Raper's been in terrific form. He's with the Dubbo club this year. He's been playing fullback, and Wade Forrester showed some faith in Wayne Bremner as the country fullback and incumbent Illawarra fullback to leave him at fullback and then include Raper on the wing. But he's been given a roving commission, so we can expect to see him all over the field, which is not good news for the Central Coast.
Just like this man. He'd love $1 for every hit up he's had today. In McCallum, that's Bullock in 17. From Dapto. Out the back it comes to McCarthy. Short ball. Still going. They're not held. Back to Bullock. He's under the post.
Well, he hasn't raised a sweat yet.
If he keeps that up, he might raise a sweat for the next 80, 60 odd minutes. How easy was that? Bullock just bulldozed his way over. And Jamie Forbes, the coach, looks on saying, what can I do to stop this onslaught from Illawarra?
Some great work there in the lead up to that from Jimmy Green. Hit the line very hard and a nice offload to Joel Johnson.
Here it is on the replay. Take a look at this.
Lovely offload coming up here. That's beautiful.
The Illawarra scored by number 17, Michael Bullock. Takes the score now to Illawarra 20, Central Coast 6.
Chris, I understand that you've got an announcement to make, mate.
Yes, we've just had an appearance here from Chock Anderson, the chairman of the CRL, and has confirmed that the final will be held at the Collegiate Sports Centre in Figtree down in the Gong next week. So that's great news for rugby league fans in Illawarra who don't get to see this team play a lot. They had a lot of success in recent years, and I think the last time we hosted a CRL final may have been 2002. So we'd be thrilled to have it in Illawarra next week.
So here's the kick from right in front. Illawarra fans, they'll be there. They love their rugby league. They love a grand final. And they'll be there in full voice come Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. A lot of our clubs are represented in this side, and I expect that we'll see a lot of family, friends and teammates turn up and give the side the support they deserve.
So 22 points to 6. Illawarra on a mission.
Here we go. Well done.
Can they keep it going? McCallum again. Been smashed. They started off with 2 tacklers in the first set of 6 trying to tackle him. Now they've got about 4 or 5 trying to bring him down and trying to stop his offloading ability. The 17 is with it. This is Michael Bullock. Runs straight into Tim Burrell. Just outside the Illawarra 30-metre line. So that's tackle number 3. Held on the 40-metre line. That's Justin King. Wrapped up by Langbridge. So it's the last. Look for the kick. Boyle pumps it downfield. Tripping over there is Grant Nelson. Looks like interchange about to be made shortly as well for the Central Coast. We'll keep an eye on that as a penalty comes the way of the Coast. Looks like Tim Nawarabu from the entrance will be heading onto the park. There he goes now in jersey number 8 onto the park. And Illawarra about to do the same here, Chris.
Yeah, Matt Siren from Thirroul about to go on. Little Pommy lad. Great fella.
12 straight up, 6 move. I'm here.
So Woodley. Fresh legs. Nawarabu. Comes straight from the interchange bench. Running it back on the inside. The Coast come. 15 minutes away from half-time here on Bar TV Sports. As the Coast through Florimo. 4 Illawarra players combined to bring him into the ground. 10 metres in from touch. Western side of the field. Now they come up the middle. That's the last. What have they got in their magic book of tricks? They're going to kick it in the in-goal area. Trouble out there for Tui.
Taken dead.
Young fella does well.
There he is on your screen right now. Did well. Read the situation brilliantly. Andrew
Okay, we're right to go 6.
Tui. But they have managed to
Let's go for me. Well done.
come away with it in attack here, the Central Coast, and the kickoff. The goal line dropout's gone 40 metres on the fly. And rampaging their way back they come.
Here on me. Wait here for me, 6. Go.
We'll have the lights on here shortly at Dubbo as well. It's getting a bit dark.
2, 8 and 11. Up now 17. Lock in 8. Hold. Go.
We're only about 15 minutes away from sunset. Back it comes now to the left-hand side of the field. They're looking elusive. This is Nelson giving it away to McKenzie, but it's a forward pass.
Bad luck for Central Coast. That's a very promising move and did open up Illawarra's right side defence.
We've had Chock Anderson in the box all day today, and I understand he's going to flick the switch too shortly for the lights to come on.
2 hands standing square, okay? 2 hands standing square outside.
The good thing about Chock is you put the question to him and he responds pretty quick. He's got to find the switch.
He's a hands-on chairman, isn't he? He does everything. He's working in the canteen earlier today, I thought.
Oh, no budget cuts at the CRL. I thought we might have brought the cars in off the Mitchell Freeway, but no, we're going to turn on the lights.
Chock will be sweeping the sheds later too when everything's wrapped up.
Jack of all trades. Everybody was after fish and chips, but Chock got to it first. As we see now, Illawarra to the 40-metre line here on semi-final day. Siren just short of halfway.
Go. Okay, we'll get outside.
Kicking game superb thus far.
Clear, everyone on.
Straight into the possession, though, on this occasion to Harley Walters from the entrance Tigers. 3 Illawarra men in the charge. One of them there was Matt Siren from Thruel. The 40-metre line now. You're on the CRL website, powered by Bar TV Sports. Hope you've enjoyed our mammoth coverage today, culminating in our last match. Of course, if you'd like any replays throughout the entire day, we've been on air since 9 o'clock this morning with the league tag and then the Tier 2 matches, and now our last match. You'll be able to find it right on the Bar TV Sports YouTube page, and we'll have highlights coming your way shortly as well. So we'll be able to capture the action in highlights form if you haven't got time to watch another 8 hours of rugby league. Illawarra knocked it down. Play on, says our referee. And luckily, Naworo is there to capture. Was that Bremner at the back, blistering it from the back of the field? It was him. Well, they've learnt their lesson about Bremner. They need to get up to him and shut him down quickly as possible. They know what he can deliver, and they can't afford that, especially with the scoreline reading 22-6 so far. Now here's a gap, but it closed just as quick by Woodley.
Wait here for me. Wait.
So Siren plays it, crossing the halfway line again. Illawarra, they're always looking for players, aren't they, in support. Bremner again, wasn't anyone? Now we see Jowett coming off the field for Central Coast. Boyle kicking it along the ground. And the Coast here come away with it and scoop it up before they're met there by Malaya in 4. So Central Coast want a penalty here. They think Illawarra is laying down on them. Their prayers have been answered. So they haven't been able to secure too many penalties going their way in the last 30 minutes of football, but they've got another one to their tally right here. And our touch judge right out here is Dylan Clark from Newcastle Referees Association, doing a good job here. And the boss of Newcastle Referees are along for the ride today too, in Chris Divebert. So the lights are on. Chock has been able to find the switch. Back to the 14. That's the entrance Tigers as Jowett. So where will it come now? Woodley has got it. Comes out the back. It's gone backwards. Upori has to go and clean it up. Right on his own 30-metre line. Illawarra 30. The 14 is with it. And that's Jowett again. So fourth tackle. Got one after this one. Woodley scampering out a dummy half. Illawarra. So good so far, denying them the try. Illawarra now diving on the ball. They've saved the day for the Illawarra region here, right on their own goal line.
Stuart Mills cleaning up there, did very well. Another intelligent kick from Central Coast, put Illawarra under a bit of pressure.
Stewie Mills coming out of the Collies.
No,
he's changed clubs.
Helensburgh.
Helensburgh.
Yeah. Previously with the Sharks, of course, and then a stint up at the Broncos.
Right. Doing well for Illawarra as they rampage their way out to the 30-metre mark. So Chris Benneman in the box with me this afternoon, the CEO of the Illawarra Rugby League. 22 points to 6. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage, and Illawarra fans really enjoying this display. Charge down now by the Central Coast. Well, I thought for a moment he should have just bent down, picked it up and gone on with it, but hindsight's a great thing. That's why he's there and we're here. Back then out of the 8. No Warraboo.
I think he knew he was no chance to run another 20
He
metres.
just wanted to rest, I think, there, Chris. He's about to line up and take it for a run again if he gives it to him. No, they cut out him. They come out wider. Oh, that pass has gone forward. And no advantage there off the forward pass. So it all comes to a climax right on the 10-metre line. 7 to go in the match in the first half. Then we're off for Oranges. And Chris, no doubt, will duck down into the sheds and find out what the coaches had to say at half-time. But it might be a relaxed talk to his boys at half-time with the dominant display that we've seen in the first 33 minutes of this match.
Keep coming, 13. Good work there, 13.
Mark it in the diary. Next Saturday, the grand final is coming back to Illawarra. Tell the friends, tell your family. It'll be posted on social media. Get there early. We've got league tag in the early hours of grand final day. Then we'll go into the Tier 2 grand final. And then the Tier 1 grand final. Newcastle already cemented their spot. You're awaiting the victor of this one. Nelson, he didn't touch that ball, so he better play at it. Fumbling his way in towards the in-goal area. And now, running his way out. But 5 Illawarra players there. Bang him into his own in-goal area. Goal line drop out here. Nice little passage of play coming up for Illawarra. Chris leading into half-time.
Yeah, the Central Coast fullback had a crack then. He very nearly found his way out, but Illawarra scrambled and get the repeat set, which is what they're after. Great play from Illawarra. 6 minutes to half-time. They get another opportunity to put more points on the board and try and put this one beyond doubt.
When you're ready, on, let's go.
So down to the 40 we go through the goal line dropout here. Caltex Park. What a venue. People of Dubbo must be very proud of this phenomenal facility here. It's played host to City versus Country over the years, and now the AAMI Country Championships. You can't fault the surface, you can't fault the curator. It's in great nick, and the council for putting on a great day today. Illawarra, 10 away. Johnson, they go short. Who wants it now? Throwing it around, intercepted. And the Coast come away with it, Chris. 10 out from their own goal line.
I'll let Illawarra chance their arm there. Very nearly something down that left side, but Central Coast were alert enough to pounce on that ball and save themselves again.
Me first, fellas. Wait, go.
Looks like you'll have a busy week, mate, organising the grand final in conjunction with the CRL. So busy weekend coming up for the Illawarra.
Absolutely, yeah. Got a lot to do this week, no doubt.
Go, 3.
Bar TV Sports will be packing up the equipment and the outside broadcast truck and heading down the M1 to the Gong. Of course, Bar TV Sports been covering the Illawarra Rugby League now for 2 years, at least, maybe even
Might
3.
be our 3rd year, I think, Pete.
Time goes quick when you're having fun, Chris.
Certainly does.
At Illawarra, you can watch these games on replay throughout the week. If you've missed any of the clashes, any of the highlights today, be able to get them in the condensed fashion. Plenty of highlights coming out of this match. Plenty of tries for Illawarra. And they're not done yet by the looks of things with 4 minutes to go in the first half here. Phillips goes to the left-hand side. Boyle gets it across the back line. The 11 is Green, floats a long pass out wide. Coming back on the inside, might be called up here, Tui.
It is, yeah, Andrew Tui.
Andrew Tui's out there in jersey 5, just going past our referee.
It's a good old-fashioned shepherd.
Right out of the book.
None of this obstruction, it's a shepherd.
That's just, you see it how you say it. Say it how you see it. None of this interpretation stuff with a good old shepherd.
That's back to the days of the second row feed and legs across the scrum, isn't it, Pete?
Is a what? That's what we love. That rugby league, the old-fashioned days. Heading into the new era, a few interpretations a lot of people don't agree with, but we're up here in the CRL bunker today, and so far our percentage rate's getting everything right. Chock was up at the 90%, getting all the calls earlier today, mate. He should get a roll with the NRL in the bunker.
Shouldn't call it the bunker.
He only has to hit the green button.
If it's getting 90% right, you probably shouldn't call it the
You wouldn't have to be colourblind. Give him one button, he'll get 100% record. That's right. Yeah, Chock's listening on from the stand in front of us. Exceptional job today, just like what you're doing here, Chris. Under fading light here in Dubbo. As your mob try and break past their own 30-metre line here. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. It's 22-6 if you just tuned on and clicked on. Great pass. Oh, what a nice shot there from the Central Coast. I think you'll find that was Troy Woodley. Hailing out of Kincumber. Now to Justin King. Opposition's 40, plays it back. Now to Johnson. Out the back it comes this time now to Bullock. He's still going, Bullock. Somebody needs to put him down. Penalty awarded too.
That hurts, doesn't it?
Takes a bit out of him. He's a big bloke to start with there, number 8 in Tim Nararabu.
Well, just when they scramble to hold Illawarra out and give away the penalty with just over a minute to half-time, that's got to hurt Central Coast. And they'll do well to hold on here.
So Johnson sends it away to the left-hand side, picks up Siren. 1 minute left in the first half. Boyle. Phillips. Here's the kick. Where's the chasers? Willis. Ball grounding in the in-goal area. Back out to the goal line. Drop out. Just mounting pressure. Every good side, they know what to do. Illawarra, it's clinical footy, isn't it?
It is. It's just slowly strangling and the life out of Central Coast, with the repeat sets. And, you can see Central Coast are out on their feet at the moment. You've got to feel for them. But it's just, Illawarra's got some very smart playmakers that know how to get the right result and keep the pressure on and keep building.
So Alex Langbridge. She's getting a little bit of treatment there, the hooker from Central Coast, which has caused this little bit of slight delay with the goal line dropout. Exactly 1 minute remaining. First half. Boyle just taps it with his foot and sets it up for King, who winds his clock up and takes it on the 30-metre line. The lights taking effect here in Dubbo. What a day it's been for the Country Rugby League. People have been able to watch it from right across the world. And that's no exaggeration. We've had people from New Zealand through to the Pacific, through to Ireland, watching this match today. And Illawarra, not done yet. Siren with 15 seconds to go before the actual siren blows. But penalty here to the coast. Pushed him on his player and can't do that.
Yeah, but you push your player as a driver.
He pushed his player as a driver.
Wait there, 13.
That's rugby league jargon that you don't hear every
wedge,
day.
Pete. I'm like, six blokes used to get behind you and push it. What happened to the good old days?
Nothing silly.
That's the siren. Some things have never changed, Chris. So that's half time. Illawarra in control at the break, leading by 22 points to 6. Chris Benneman off to the sheds to find out what the coaches have had to say at half time. We'll come back with Chris's analysis. We'll take a break and come back with the last 40 minutes here on semi-final day, live. You know where we are by now. We're in Dubbo.
Time your run.
Let's find out what the coaches have had to say at half-time. Here's Chris Bannerman.
Oh, yeah, Pete. I was in the Illawarra sheds, of course, and Wade Forrester, while he was very happy with the effort, completion of 10 from 16, he was a little bit disappointed that boys got a little bit excited and turned over some ball and basically let Central Coast off the hook and back into the game to some extent. He's keen for everyone to play what's in front of him. Gave a lot of credit to young Andrew Toohey for what he did in sneaking down the blind side. But he's basically wants them to show respect for the opposition and that this is far from over. Really focused on ensuring we go forward before the ball goes out the back. Thought we got a little excited and went a little bit sideways through the back line a couple of times. But he's very much focused on everyone keeping busy and keeping in the play. Basically enforced that, as far as he's concerned, the score's back to 0-all. And the next 10 minutes are imperative that Illawarra dominate and score first, and then he'll be happy.
He'll be a happy camper. Okay. Let's see what can come of this. Let's try and keep the coach a happy camper. This is Ben Stevens. Off the interchange bench. A little bit of aggression there as he trying to get away from the Illawarra player. Of course, that was Justin King. King in again in the tackle. Throwing the dummies left, right and centre. Illawarra, I'll wait to this. That's Lalea in the yellow boots. Can't miss him out there for Illawarra.
He hits like a truck.
Here's the kick. Central Coast, play on, and Wayne Brebner did well at the back to flop on the ball for Illawarra just on his own 10-metre line. Just tripped over his feet. The referee said, a bit of a running commentary. We love that from our referees as well. When the players around him asked the question, and he was straight to the point, our man with the whistle. He said he just tripped over his feet.
It's a very good referee too, Pete, I've got to say.
Matthew Edwards, the man with the whistle.
I think he's had the last couple of Tier 1 finals, and I thought he's done a great job.
Do you think he's leading the race for the grand final next Saturday?
Would appear so from what I've seen.
We might have just booked him a spot, actually. We're right next to the CEO here in Terry Quinn. Here's the kick off the boot now of McCarthy, drilling it downfield. Going away is Nelson. He knows this passage of play only so well. He's been coming out of the back all day long for the Central Coast. That's just a testament to the kicking game of Illawarra. Being able to bang it right where they want it for the majority of this match.
3, 5 and 15.
Third tackle here. Losing it as they were about to come outside their own 30-metre line here. So 4 minutes gone, only elapsed in the second half here. We're live from Dubbo. Chris, what's the schedule going to be like for Illawarra this week? Just keep things as normal as possible, mate. No, don't mix it up as much.
Yeah, I think we've just had a get-together training run for the last couple of Wednesdays. I think it'll be the same, but perhaps because we've got the luxury of being at home, there might be a light ball work session maybe Friday evening. Keep it very simple, but these guys, they know what it's all about. They buy into it, and they're 110% committed, so I don't think there'll be anything other than the formula that's worked for us.
And the good thing is they're able to sleep in their own beds at night. That's a positive. None of this hotel business that the Rebels will have to face.
Yeah, well, it's always a bonus when you can sleep in your own bed and snore as much as you want, and you don't have to put up with other blokes doing it.
That's right. Take that any night of the week. This is Bremner coming away with the ball. Referee says play on, and finally collected there by Nawarapu. So 20 metres away from going over yet again here on semi-final day. Searching for their first try of the second half here, Illawarra. McCarthy kicking it in the in-goal area. He was taken away from the ball.
Ball's on the ground on the try line. Ball's on the try line.
Nice bit of work from the Central Coast fullback to cover that up.
That's right. If he grounds, it's a goal on drop out. Nah. Thanks, mate. Nah, he's on the line the whole time.
So Central Coast there just trying to argue the point about whether It should be a goal line dropout, but you can't argue with the officials. That's for sure, as Gregan winds himself up and takes it down to the 20-metre line. McCarthy now on his right edge. Comes away now to him. He turns it back on the inside, and the 17 is with it, and that is Bullock. He's dropped down now 15 metres away from the Central Coast line. Back there now to Johnson. He goes to the right-hand side. He now finds Siren, and he's brought down about 4 metres out. 22 points to 6 here on semi-final day in the Country Rugby League. The 19 is with it, and that is Justin King. Defending their hearts out here, the Central Coast. What are they going to do here, Illawarra? Going across field, that is McCarthy. Last tackle now. Look for the kick in towards the end goal area, or will they score the try? Tui's in! Give him the try. Grounding's fine. Touch judge agrees. 26-6. And Tui, he loves a try this afternoon here in Dubbo.
Well, he's great. Dubbo continues, but that's a really sharp bit of work when Illawarra probably lost their way a little bit, going a little bit sideways that Coach Wade Forrester spoke about, but that little short side play from a couple of players that were very alert, I think it was Alapate, Nolea and Jimmy Green. Beautiful.
Here it is on the replay. The half-back instrumental again. Nice tackle, though, from around the legs.
Yeah, Jimmy Green wraps around there. That's great play, and Alapate's alert to it, and 2 into the corner.
Easy. Easy peasy. Here in Dubbo. And the kick. Well, right out of the touchline for Raper.
Andrew Tui takes the score now to Illawarra 26, Central Coast 6.
And what games can we look forward to over the coming weeks in the local comp going on in Wollongong?
Jeez,
I'll put you on the spot there. Every match.
Yeah, absolutely. Been so focused on the representative preparation this last week or so.
Yeah.
I know Western Thrill is coming up surely, and that's always a good contest. West looking, I think they're building very nicely this year. I think to give the premiership a real shake. Thrill have shown some good form again recently, so I think that'll be a nice arm wrestle.
Here's the kick. Right out on the Western touchline. Backing him in?
Of course. No. Told you he'd kick it.
We better not go to the RSL tonight.
Well, he kicked it.
He did.
It, but
he nearly got it. If the post was just like 2 metres to the left,
it
might have went over.
Never went over, but he did kick it.
Love it. As he goes back into his right side of halfway. So we're back here. 26-6. Country Rugby League.
On me, boys. All right, here we go. Let's go. Hold on.
As the lights take effect here. Coming up to 5:20. Local time on the eastern seaboard here in Australia. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage all day long, wherever you are across the world. It's been a mammoth day of rugby league action and a testament to the talent and the energy from the players that have been able to provide a spectacular atmosphere for the fans and the supporters that have travelled down here to Caltex Field from the local areas and far and wide across Australia to be a part here for the Country Championships. We've got 1 weekend left, so the road journey continues. Everybody's off to Wollongong. Nelson, he may not be off to Wollongong.
Straight up 19.
He might be straight back to the Central Coast, watching it from Wollongong next Saturday. Down by 20 his side.
Hold, go. Well done.
50th minute. We're just about to tick over. 3 in there from Illawarra. One of them was Boyle. Struggling to come outside their own 40 until now. That's the 5th. Or was that the 4th? We'll find out here after the massive run that was able to take them outside their own half. Now it's the last. McCullum comes off. Looking to go back on too. He's just left his seat, looking to get back out there amongst the action. As Illawarra come down with the ball. Right on their own 20-metre line here. What a game he's had, McCallum. He's coming onto the park now. The big number 10 from Helensburgh. You can't miss him. He's probably the biggest, the tallest, the most versatile out there, especially for a big number 10. Leads the forwards well. Now they're leading the middle of the ruck well. This is McCarthy drawing, supporting. McCallum nearly got his first touch after coming off the interchange bench.
We're knocking each other out of the way there in support, I think.
10-pin bowling here in Dubbo. Looking for the middle pin. Slipping over.
Up now, 1. Hold markers. Go.
That's the halfway line.
2. Stand. Hold. Both markers out.
Brilliant. The man in the tackle there from Illawarra. Now to Warden. That's the 40-metre line.
It's a better set from the Central Coast.
Smith looking to come out onto the field as well for Illawarra as the Coast try and probe the gap. So the gap closed just as quick there from Jared Boyle.
Hold. Clear. Well done. That's
To Water wants it. He's got it. Built low to the ground. And probably the heaviest out there on the park.
Make me. Wait. Go.
Last tackle now. Look for the kick. Now they're going to switch it here. Now there's the kick. Rolling into the end goal area. And saved out there from Jason Raper. Nice kick.
Good set.
Yeah.
Good set. Yeah, put Illawarra under quite a bit of pressure there and asked a few questions. And they've got the reward.
Well, there's Alan Munro on the screen right now looking to be injected back onto the park. So Illawarra not in any rush, as you'd expect when you're up by 20 points in a semi-final. Here's the goal line dropout. Bounces on the 30, skewers back to the 15. And that's Ben Stevens from Erina, being picked up and driven into the lush turf here at Caltex Park. That's Woodley. Giving it away now to Burrell. Runs straight and hard into McCallum. 22 metres out from the Illawarra line. Central Coast spinning it around. Where's their support? It's come in the possession over there. Thanks to Wright. It's play on. Illawarra scrambling. And the ball goes in the touch.
They're playing some football, Central Coast. They're tossing it around and asking a few questions of Illawarra now. I suppose, with 20 points behind, you've got to chance your arm, but they've actually had a couple of good sets there that have really tested Illawarra.
So 26 minutes away from finding out who'll tackle Newcastle in the grand final to be played in Illawarra
Down we go. 2 hands.
next Saturday.
Ball's in there. Yep, we're good. Out.
Times to be confirmed, I guess, throughout the week, but
Up now, 13. Have a look, boys.
hearing it could be a 1:45 kickoff for Tier 1 grand final day.
Now, Jay. Waiting. Go.
With the league tag, of course, being the first fixture on grand final day. So 3 games next week. We've got the league tag, then the Tier 2 grand final, and then counting down to the big one.
4, leading 13, don't push on.
26 minutes to go. May well be Illawarra. Nelson seeing this one go into touch. Didn't want to play at it. He knew what was behind him, as we see.
Matty Hancock, I think, stretching. He'll be back on shortly.
Just looking up to the left-hand side, looking at Michael Bullock, also looking to come back out onto the park.
He's been great off the bench. Added some real punch to the Illawarra team.
So the good news is, so far for Illawarra, that they've been able to come through this game injury-free, which is great news. Newcastle, of course, were without William Hedder today. So they've got a selection dilemma, I guess, going forward into Illawarra. Do they stick with Dylan Walker, who had an absolute blinder, filling in for Hedder? Or do they put Hedder back into the starting side and put Walker onto the bench, or in reverse order maybe? But it will be an almighty tussle on grand final day if Illawarra should meet Newcastle. We'd pack the stadium out, wouldn't we? We'd go close.
I think there'll be a good crowd, particularly we've got our neighbours, the Greater Southern Stars, are in Tier 2, and that's a lot of people from Group 6 and Group 16 competitions. So I think we'll pull a decent crowd down there next week. We'll certainly do a lot to promote it. And I think in a nice little stadium, I think it'll have a great atmosphere. Be a good day of football.
In there for me, 6. Right, down we go.
And it's Grant Smith, the Illawarra Player of the Year from 2015, has just gone on and replaced Joel Johnson, who's had a really busy game.
Up now, 9. Short side, look.
McCallum
Right.
calling for it.
Shorten it, go. 1.
That's him now.
2.
To the 20.
3 now. Go.
That's Grant Smith.
Out the back's good.
Takes it to the line.
That's fine.
Still going, Illawarra. Central Coast.
3. Try line, boys. Try line.
Hustling around them.
You're doing well. Doing well, 19.
Denying them a 4-pointer thus far.
4. Okay, get him room,
Jacob
19.
Denford there, getting well and truly shortened up by the Central Coast defence.
McCallum again. How did he hold on to that ball? Now he
Didn't
lost
in
it in
the
the end. Just came out the back. How he was able to capture the ball in the first place was spectacular before the ball came free, which gives Central Coast the opportunity now to run straight into James Grean in 11.
Up straight away, 11. Hold E3. Wait for me. Go. Well done. That's fine.
The gap closes from Illawarra. One of the players there was Phillips, along with McCallum. McCallum again in the tackle. What can't he do? The big number 10
Keep coming.
from Helensburgh.
Outside.
Just outside 40, the kick. Illawarra got a good start. Their centre 6 here. Right on the
Doing well, boys. Doing well.
30-metre line, and that was Jason Raper.
2. 7.
So grinding their way forward.
Go.
Grinding their way towards a grand final.
Held 3. Red line.
The current title holders. The AAMI Country Premiership
Tackle 4.
in control here against the Central Coast.
Wait. Go. 4. Now that's good.
Boyle takes the line on and takes him down to the 30-metre line. Last tackle now.
Good work. Well done.
Comes back to now to the half-back in McCarthy. Goes high to the air. The ball will bounce. Straight back to Illawarra. It's play on. There's support out here. It comes back to Tui. He'll score, Tui. No, he won't. He's denied. How did he get that try? Give him the try. That was spectacular. We need to go to the CRL bunker.
He's got the mark. Wait for my call.
Oh, I think we need to give the Central Coast cover defence a wrap there. That's
Where's
a great screen.
where's Jock when you need him? Jock.
3.
No try. Go to the board, Chock says.
When you're ready, play the ball.
We've only got one green light up here, Chock. We've got to give it. But we won't. We've invented another button on the run. No try, Chock.
Wait. Steelers, wait. Go.
Now there's a knock on here.
That hurts, doesn't it? Central Coast trying to get out of trouble. Great cover defence to stop Andrew Tui. That must have been very close. But they've coughed the ball up early in the set, so under pressure again.
Now, I don't know if we can see this with our cameras, but we'll try and pick up the no try on the board. Let's go up to the CRL bunker. Oh, it's no try. No try, says the CRL bunker.
Is there nothing Chock Anderson can't do?
What can't you do, Chock? If he's not turning the lights on, if he's not eating the pies and the chips, he's coming up with modernisation at its best in Dubbo. McCallum, he can't invent himself to get over the line. Maybe we need to give him the phone number of Chock.
He's all over the IT, isn't he, Chock?
I find it fascinating, actually, Chris. Chock can't... He tells me he can't operate the internet. He hasn't got a phone. But somehow he's able to power up the most modern scoreboard in rugby league.
Oh, I think he's been hiding some of his talents under a bushel.
Now, talent. Where does he pull this talent from?
stand square. Stand square.
Some people might tell you where he pulls it from, but I'm not.
Stand still.
Terry Quinn, where does Chock pull this from?
Up 11, leave the leg set.
Where the air blows out of the south. Talking of wind, we've got it coming left, right and centre, Chris.
I'm not getting involved in this.
Put a peg on your nose. It's coming your way. But the Central Coast, they'll look forward to 2017. We'll look forward to next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do the fish and chips go in Illawarra?
I don't think Legions do fish and chips. They do a good barbecue. I think next door at the Red Dog Grill you can get a nice feed after the game.
4, 14, out we get. Make me.
Just tag with Chock, we'll be right. Straight there.
I'm sure wherever there's a bit of good food, Chock will find it.
He's not a fan of coffee, though, we've learnt today. Here's the kick. Downfield. Chewy just sees this go in a touch. Tui. That's what we might all be doing later on today. Going for a Tui's or two. We don't support drinking, but, you know, after 9 hours, we need a nice water with a bit of cool ice.
I think you've earned it, mate. It's been a long day.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the lights are on. Chock's just looking around, actually, ladies and gentlemen. We got a bit of feedback on Twitter. Chock was bringing in a different variety of birds earlier today. And we've learnt a number of different birds. And we've learnt ibis birds are very prominent in Dubbo.
Well, I heard that's where all the league tag girls stayed last night at the Ibis.
Yes. And it was a fantastic experiment a few hours ago. We didn't know what a bird, but it had the birds with the big beaks.
The white things are quite ugly. Yeah,
They snap you if you put things in the wrong place. You know what I mean, Chris?
Absolutely.
Snappy, those ones. You don't have them in Wollongong for next Saturday, do you?
No, mate. No, definitely not.
Just some nice surf and fish and chips.
Absolutely. It'll be a sunny beach day, of course. Weather's always good in Wollongong.
Well, our producer will like that, Bo. He's one of the Newcastle surfboarding champion, actually, of the under-18s a few years ago. So, mate, after producing, head on down to one of the beaches and ride those waves. Speaking of riding waves, Illawarra stopping the Central Coast from riding their wave, aren't they? It's been a wave that's sort of blown them out of the ocean. 12 metres out from the goal line, Central Coast rippling their way down to the goal line. 17 to go. Injury. Ankle.
Yeah,
gone for the game.
Doesn't look good. Let's hope that big fella's all right.
Time off here too, Chris. We'll stop the clock here at the ground. I'm still getting over the innovation. You know, you blink your fingers, click your fingers, and things just happen on this scoreboard. How good is that? Will we get this sort of service at your ground next week?
Oh, quite possibly, mate.
Quite possibly.
See what we can do.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the right ankle is the main concern here. Not in any rush to get back up. That's possibly because he can't get up. Looks like he's ready for nights. Pigeons around here, you better, we've seen plenty of them today. Here's the bench actually, about to get back on. That's Hancock here. No, it's not. It's Nawarbu. Ready to come on. Can't miss him. Looks like the old Sam Bacco back in the day.
Does, yeah.
Hey?
Talking about shepherds and feet across the scrum. Yeah, Sam Bacco's returned to the Sarah Championships.
It's a blast from the past here, Chris. Keeping everyone on their feet. As he just drops back in to play the ball now. So that's tackle 3. After a stoppage of about a minute or so. So the Coast here looking to bash and barge their way over the Illawarra defensive line. Illawarra, they pride themselves on defence. Let's see if they can stop them getting over here. They're on their way. They've got one leg over the line to the grand final. That's for sure. 20-point ball game with 16 to go.
Scrum out here, fellas.
Scrum will be
Hey, good catch, good catch.
forming right on the 20-metre line.
Steve, keep your foot on the ground, okay?
Just getting the official crowd through from the Country Rugby League today. We've had in excess of 1,000 or so. That's a great turn-up here today, watching the ladies tag all the way through to the Tier 2 and Tier 1 grand final. So I think everybody would be happy with the turnout from the Dubbo folks. That's Nawaraboo from the entrance.
Wait, clear.
Now to Woodley.
They certainly haven't turned it up, Central Coast. You've got to say they're having a crack this second half, making sure they apply as much pressure as possible and desperately trying to get back into the game.
That's fine. Short ball's good.
Now to Stevens.
Hold there. Play on. Off feet.
If they ever want a defensive workout heading into the grand final, Illawarra, they're certainly getting one right here.
Keep coming, keep coming.
The tackle bags are coming out. The human variety. Here's the kick into the end goal area. Illawarra will have to see it go dead.
Shoulder to shoulder, nothing wrong with it.
Brebner. He wasn't going to touch that. He knew that was going as far back to the fence as possible. Here's an injury coming off for the Coast.
A bad ankle's not going to help a body like that, is it?
Zero tackle.
It doesn't help.
Wait, six, go.
It doesn't help. Look at this run. Yellow boot man. We've got a bloke in the Newcastle Rugby League that wears similar boots. You can see them from a mile away. You can see them from Mars, Chris.
There's an array of boots out there, isn't there? Some crazy colours.
Fluoro certainly taking the rugby league world by storm in the modern age. This is Grant Smith. Smithy, they call him, down to the 30-metre line.
He had a great year last year in Illawarra, player of the year and also player of the grand final, a Helensburgh win over West, so couldn't have done much more.
Boyle puts it through, cut off by Willis.
Hold square markers.
So coming out of their own 10 zone, they're able to beat McCallum there, which is a rarity.
Hold, fellas. Hold,
Boyle
go.
clobbers him.
2, 14 off.
That's everybody's mate in the tackle there. Grant Smith.
Go.
Central Coast here. Are they about to turn on a rampage? Well, they were until they've lost it right on the halfway line.
That's the Alaparte Nolea body slam. He's renowned for that.
It's Bullock on screen there, just readjusting the underwear. And
how'd you like to be feeding that?
You'd go broke, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I've got to take him back to the Castlereagh Hotel tonight before we go home, and I'm sure him and Justin King are going to be leading the way at the buffet.
I was going to say an all-you-can-eat buffet might be on the books there, Chris. Do they have them in Dubbo? We'll find out. Castlereagh Hotel, I went there last night.
2 hands.
On a bad meal out the back. $20 sirloin steak.
That's what we're hoping for.
Good choice. Good local choice.
Keep working at 10. Shorten it, go.
You'd probably need 5 of those sirloins to feed him.
Oh! Easy now.
Here's a penalty going to Illawarra.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
It's a tough one. Because I've got held, there's still a drive, okay? I know, it's a tough one. That's what I'm saying. It's a drive.
Well, he said it's a drive there, Chris, but he still blew it. So let's see what they can do here. They're going to bang it into touch, hopefully. Take the tap.
Here's 7. That's it.
31 metres away from the line. Who wants to come onto it now? McCarthy out the back there to Boyle. Now it comes wider. That's Phillips with the ball. He's still going, Phillips. Put down there now from Munro. He'll play the ball back here at Caltex Park here. Now it's Saturday night football here on Bar TV Sports. And that is the big number 10 in McCallum. Where will it go again? It comes back down to Grian. He offloads a pass. It's razzle-dazzle before Illawarra felt that impact, of course, there from Johnston. He'll play it back then out of the right-hand side. The Propers with it. Back to Hancock. 8 metres out. Are they about to cross again? They probably will if they can execute their passing game.
The tip back by 6 was fine, knocked on by 14.
But it was knocked on by the 14 in Grant Smith.
No, the tip back from 6 was fine.
Pity that didn't get a reward. It was a bit of enterprising play from Illawarra, but Central Coast hanging on.
Well, at half time, the scoreboard was reading 22-6, I think it was. So we haven't seen much try scoring in the second half, but I guess when you're up by a considerable margin like this, you can just hold out the win and make it through the grand final day. Nothing else really matters as the Central Coast.
The Central Coast have had a lot more quality possession in the second half and have been able to apply some pressure, Illawarra. And, you know, it could have been a different story if they had this sort of a start in the first half and had more ball. But Illawarra really turned the screws in that first 20 minutes with a glut of possession.
Chris Benneman, Illawarra CEO in our broadcast box tonight. Don't forget, all the highlights will be available on Bar TV Sports and through Country Rugby League. And if you need more than your highlights fix, just log on to YouTube and follow the links for the full match. So it's the last tackle now for the Central Coast. I think they were in front of the kicker. Referee just turned a blind eye to that. And out there it's Raper again, flopping on it on the 20.
Great pick-up.
Yeah, it was. Fired at him. Considering that this ground has gone through all the elements that one can throw at it from the natural environment. We've had rain, we've had sunshine, we've had rainbows. All we need now is Judy Garland. Back there down to the 40-metre line.
I was waiting for sunshine and lollipops.
A 1, 2, 3. How does that go, Chris?
I'm not singing.
Save that for the Castle Ray Hotel.
5 tackles, don't spoil!
Anything's possible tonight. With Chris Benneman in town. Here's the kick downfield.
Play on, tackle 1.
That's tackle number 1.
Me first, boys. Hold.
Head back on the bus tomorrow, Chris. When's the bus going back
we're
to
out of here.
Wollongong?
We're out of here tonight.
Straight after the steak.
They can't wait to get rid of us.
Yeah, right.
Up we go.
I might be on the next bus behind you. Back there now to the coast as they charge their way down to the 40-metre line. 20-point ball game.
Lock in.
With Chris Benneman and Peter Jolly bringing you the Country Rugby League Championships. Who else have we had in the box today? We've had Ricky Walford. That was about 11 o'clock this morning. We've had the one and only Chock Anderson. The proud Nova Castrian that he is.
Here we go. Come here.
We've had the CEO, Terry Quinn. He's been in and he's had a chat around midday. And, of course, we don't know yet about the future of City versus Country next year, but if it is going to be the final due to, you know, broadcasting rights from Channel 9, look out, check this space, because if it is the last match next year before the new contracts go around, they'll go out on a bang. There's even talk maybe of taking it back to the Sydney Cricket Ground. If it goes that way, that'd be a nice way to go out.
That would be something, yeah.
Yeah.
Lock in now for 3. Go.
That's McCarthy. Just finding Green. Gone without it. So the Coast come away with it. Jowett from the entrance is with the ball. Inside the last 7 minutes here at the Country Rugby League Championships. All roads lead to Illawarra next Saturday. She'll be in for a spectacle. It will be. Walters trying to turn on his own spectacle there, but come away empty-handed. Bremner at the back. He'll love going around on his home ground next week. There's the wide shot of the lights in full effect here as Illawarra. You can just sense if they can get into open flight, They might be able to put on another spectacle. Here they go. Raper, he's kicking the ball downfield. They're chasing after it, Illawarra. Can they get to the ball? They can get to the ball, and they've scored an unbelievable, spectacular try.
Jared Boyle.
How good is Boyle? Sensational. Now he's unusual in the in goal. He's cramped up.
Well, that's the Helensburgh connection. Raper's at Dubbo this year, but they've played together a long time, and Rapes knew where Boyle was inside. Lovely kick. Looked great.
Number 6, Boyle. Jared Boyle. And the big try sign comes on the board again. But look at this. Well down inside their own 20-metre line. Great kick from Raper. And Jared Boyle, he led the race and got the try. Brilliant effort. For the Rio Olympics coming up in a few months, Chris. You wouldn't be out of the 100-metre sprint called by Bruce McAvaney, would he, after that? Brilliant effort. Better rugby league player then, though, as a sprinter, I suppose. So we'll take him off the plane to Rio, but...
I think he's got commitments at Helensburgh.
Yeah. Grand final time too, possibly. You never know. Helensburgh. What was it, 21 years last year?
22, I think.
22 years.
Didn't they celebrate?
Yeah. Credit to them. They were in a few grand finals into the lead up to that one. More than a few.
I think it was
6,
3 of the last 4 years, something like that.
Yeah.
They had a few close calls.
But finally, ended up taking the trophy back to Helensburgh. Who will it be in the Illawarra grand final this year? Because that match will be live and uninterrupted on Bar TV Sports. I've noticed that you got your own commentary team down there now. That's great.
Yeah, Mitch Jennings from the Illawarra Mercury's had a crack last week. Did a great job with ex-Helensburgh President Dave Bell, and I believe there's a few others that be picking up the microphone, and shortly all our matches will be covered.
And midweek interviews as well, going great.
Yeah, Jake Hawkins from the Dapto Club. Doing a great job.
Yeah, fantastic effort. Great background too. He went down to the beach the other night and
with Ty McCarthy.
Yeah, see that? Brilliant stuff.
You want to be careful, Pete. He's coming after your job.
Keep working short. Hold.
Look forward to meeting him on grand final day.
That's it, good.
If I'm there.
He might be busy, you never know.
No, it's great to share everything around. That's the good thing about grassroots football. You know, it's not just the players on the field. It's about giving opportunities as well to potential commentators, potential sideline eyes, potential production crew. It's a joint effort. You know, it's a family atmosphere, isn't it, Chris?
It is. It's a great thing Bar TV are doing, covering rugby league at grassroots levels and representative football like this and other sports. It's fantastic exposure for the game and other sports. It's a wonderful thing, and I think it's really taken off in a big way.
Of course, Bar TV now are launching out internationally. Set up operation in England. A lot of sports coming away from the mother country in coming months and years ahead. And there's talk around live streaming a possible test match, if things go to plan, internationally in October.
That's in Perth, isn't it, I think, that one?
Yeah, that one's in Perth. No, we're not doing that one, but we might be doing another big one overseas. Just having a chat this week, I believe, to people that handle the international contracts. I'll give you a hint. The city is Apia. What's the country? Could be Samoa. Big clash between Samoa and Fiji coming up in October.
That'd be terrific.
Here's the kick downfield. Well, would have been if he was able to kick it. Well, it's going to be play on, but I think the referee will call it up here because for a moment they were on their haunches, both players from Illawarra and the coast, but back into the lines they go. As we see the coast straight through. Can they finish this on with a try? They're going to kick. Well, turning into FFA soccer.
That deserved better. Geez, he's got a nice step on him, the 6 from Central Coast.
Got a good little running game with him too. Here's a penalty.
Silly, 10. It's just silly.
Referee has just said silly. That's the call. Are you okay? Are you okay, Chris Bannerman?
Couldn't be better. 30-6, Pete.
Mate, you'll be
Quite a...
smiling like a Cheshire cat all the way back to the Castlereagh Tavern tonight. The smile will stick around for another 7 days.
Well, I'll be under the pump for a few days, I think, this week, so I might not be smiling too much.
And then, of course, you boys
Nothing silly. Hold.
will tackle the might of Newcastle. You've had the upper hand over Newcastle in the last few grand finals, because Newcastle weren't there last year, but previous years you've been able to come away with the title.
Yeah, there have been ding-dong battles. 2014 was a 2-point win. We hang on for dear life at Tamworth, I think it was. I don't expect next week to be any different.
Newcastle, of course, went without William Hedder today. So they've got a few good headaches to choose from next week. Do they stick with Walker or do they stick with Willie? Here's the kick. The Chasers are onside. Knocked on out there. And dead. 20 metres. Back to the tap we go. But we don't have long on the clock to go here. 9 seconds to go in the Country Rugby League Tier 1 second match between Illawarra and the Central Coast. The sirens about to go in the background as the Central Coast slipping their way down to the 40-metre line. The siren goes in the background. The Central Coast with one last hit up and one last run before they poleaxe it into the ground. The siren goes for another time, and there it is. Illawarra go through to meet Newcastle in the AAMI Country Rugby League Grand Final, set down for next Saturday in Illawarra, tackling the might of the red and white on screen right now. Illawarra. What a battle, what a clash, and what a grand final that promises to be. Chris Bannerman, you better get home, mate. Set up the ground, and we'll see you there bright and early next Saturday morning.
Absolutely, Pete. Look forward to welcoming you and everyone else down to wonderful Wollongong.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate your time. We'll let you get back down to the sheds. And if all goes well, I'll see you for steak.
Beautiful.
Good on you, mate. Chris Bannerman there, the CEO of the Illawarra Rugby League, joining us here in the Country Rugby League commentary box for this Tier 1 Grand Final. Well, what a day it's been. Thanks to the players, thanks to the CRL, and thanks to the Bar TV commentary team, and a bigger thanks to the production crew that have been here for the entire day. We got here this morning at 7 o'clock to be able to bring you the first pictures at 9 o'clock. We've been on air since then, and it's now 6 o'clock at night. Brilliant stuff by everybody. And we couldn't have done it without the players for putting on an absolute exhibition of rugby league. So that pretty much wraps things up here from downtown Dubbo. On behalf of the Country Rugby League, the production crew, it's been a brilliant day, and we look forward to doing it all again next Saturday when we go to Illawarra for grand final day of the AAMI Country Championships. Until then, it's good night for now. Good night, Australia.
You watch it, my favourite probably go next week just after 3.